What's going on, everybody? Oh, hold on. My mic was on. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another live stream. I'm fashionably late, cool guy. I'm fashionably late, What's going on, Cleveland Cavaliers? Enzo, Kiki, thank you for being here. Jackson will be here in a second. Technically, I'm early. I told Jackson I would be on at 7:35. It's 7:34, so all things considered, it's all about perspective. I'm about 60 seconds early. We usually come on right around the national anthem. Not on purpose. It just seems to time up that way. But yeah, Cleveland Cavaliers are back. Yeah, I can give you a VIP. And so I think you had a VIP for a while, and then we reset them a little while ago. So go ahead and give you one now for being in the chat. Thank you for being here. We appreciate it. Cool guy. Yes, you also get a VIP. The PP merchant. Got to hook them up with a VIP. Yeah, so the VIP, if anyone doesn't know, that allows you to watch the game on screen with us. If you're someone who didn't have League Pass or you were dealing with a local blackout, Cleveland Cavaliers, you have the VIP already. That's the little yellow thing next to your name. So that just allows you to watch the game on screen with us. If you have a League Pass account and you're not dealing with the local blackout, then you can see it already, or you can just sync up your TV to watch with us. But Jackson's here now. But yeah, the VIP, that's Tony. All it is. Just lets you watch the game with us. How you doing?
Oh, good. I thought that we always go live after the national anthem.
I was just saying that.
I nervous.
Usually we go live right around this time. But the chat, I saw everyone saying hi in the chat, so I had to jump on. I had to say hello to everybody. Op watch 100%. Yeah, we got some hate watchers. I love that though. You got to see what's going on. You got to do some scouting. Check what's going on with the other teams across the league. I'm guessing you're a Celtics fan, cool guy, because you're a Peyton Pritchard merchant. Is that safe to say? Yep. I respect the Celtics. Jackson will be much less kind, but I do respect the Celtics, although I would love to beat you guys. If anyone doesn't know, Jackson's in Vegas at the NBA Cup, so I think he's joined from his phone. So bear with him. He asked Doc Rivers a great question today. Probably you may have seen it on the NBA Twitter page. So Jackson, making us proud if you're the sword. I think he's having internet issues because he has the little Wi-Fi symbol, but he's doing his best. He's in Vegas. He's trying to join from the phone. But yeah, how's everyone doing? How was your weekend? I'm glad the Cavs are back. It feels like, we've only had one game the last week or so. They had so many days off. Played Friday. That Friday game was a little bit ugly, but a win's a win.
I think Jackson's I'm back
here,
now.
I believe he's back. I hear him.
Yeah, welcome, Jackson. Thank you. I was trying to use this crappy Wi-Fi from the crappy hotel that I'm in, and it looks like that's not going to work. So I'm using my data.
Yeah, making it happen one way or another.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Yeah, my lovely voice or my irritating voice, depending on your perspective, was heard on the NBA social channels today. I'm not sure why they chose that clip to to share, and then they included me talking, which they certainly didn't need to do. So I was just kind of shocked, but that's cool. Good for them.
Yeah. Dan, I'm sorry to hear you were sick over the weekend. That's unfortunate. Hope you're feeling better. Hope the Cavs can make you feel better with the win today. Cleveland Cavaliers, I'm doing good. It was a fun weekend. My mom's birthday was on Sunday, so we hung out, did some things. I've been watching a lot of Survivor. I've been catching up on the old season, so I'm not on the new season. I heard the new season's very good, but I'm catching up on that. I enjoyed that it was 50 degrees today, even though it was rainy and cloudy and ugly. But yeah, Jackson's been in Vegas, so he's been seeing some sunshine and some good weather.
Some sunshine. I brought out the sunglasses today, walking to practice.
So it was a good feeling.
So that felt, it was weird just having sunglasses on again for the first time in 4 months. So, that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, Vegas has been good. it's kind of a weird place. Have you ever been to Vegas, Tony?
So I was in Vegas for about 10 minutes, and I'll explain why very quickly before I'll make a long story short since the game's about to start. When I went to LA a couple years ago, we had a layover in Vegas on our way home. It was supposed to be like a hour and a half layover. Maybe I think it was supposed to be a 2.5 hour layover. Our plane in LA got stuck on the runway for like almost 2.5 hours exactly. Like we thought we were going to miss our next flight. We were getting ready to take off, and then they stopped and they're like, "Hold on, we're really low on fuel. We got to fuel up." So it's like, okay, good thing you found out before we were in the air, I guess. And so yeah, we land in Vegas, and it's literally like we land, we get off our plane, and the next plane is already boarding. We're the last group, thankfully, but they were already like on the last group. So I ran over. We didn't eat anything. We flew Spirit, so they don't have shit to eat on the plane. So I run over to grab like a bag of chips and stuff. I was doing everything in my power to avoid paying for a carry-on bag. So I'm carrying like a pair of shoes in my hands, my laptop. You can have anything
they don't
on
like
you
that.
as long as you're carrying it. They allow it. But I'm carrying a bunch of stuff, running around.
This is news to me. Listen.
Maybe we cheated the
I would
system.
have loved to know that.
I was wearing like
just,
2 hoodies. I was doing everything I could.
Listen, I am very familiar with the wearing all of your clothes
yes.
tactic. I have used that. So yeah, didn't know you could like carry stuff. I thought about
any
carrying
personal
a book
item
on, but that's a personal item. Like,
well,
I've
my
seen
personal item happened to be my shoes and my computer.
No, but then your backpack's not your personal item.
No, I think it's maybe I'm using the wrong word. I know you get the free. I think the backpack is the personal item, but anything you're carrying, I guess, as long as it's not taking up like blocking anybody's space, you're allowed to. But anyways, to finish the last best part of this story, I left my MacBook on the counter of the store. I scanned my ticket. I'm literally like one step away from entering the plane. And then I realized, so I turn around, I run back. I'm like, please, I left my MacBook. It's right over there. Like I can see the store. And they're like, we're not allowed to let you off. I'm like, please, it's right there. I can see it. And they're like, all right, you better hurry up. So thank the Lord I managed to get my MacBook back. If I would have stepped onto the plane, I don't think they would have let me.
See, you weren't even allowed to do that. They just let you have it back because
yes.
Of,
they were being very kind.
That was a very elaborate way of getting past the personal item thing. Yeah, so good for you.
Yeah. Ben Simmons, future Cavalier. This is his tryout game, I guess. I'm kidding. I'm not on board with it.
Rough first 2 possessions here.
Yeah. Whew. All right. Starting off hot. I did not watch Extreme Couponers, by the way. I just, my bag, it was just I was barely able to get everything in the bag on the way there. And then we bought a couple things there. And I was like, there's no way this is fitting in my bag. So thankfully it all worked out. Simmons emptied the tank. We're good now. Yeah. He used it all in the first minute 20 right there. Evan Mobley back in the lineup. Good to see. Still no Max Strus.
Yeah, Mobley was just ducking Tony. He said, I don't want to.
Yeah, what the hell, man? I take that personally, honestly. Same with Max Strus, but I guess he's still out. So they said there's been no setback for everybody. Strus. There's been no setback. He's just ramping up still. Okay. That's good to hear. Hey, we'll take it. Not a great possession, though. First 3 possessions didn't really generate much. But you get a 3-point play.
Some bad possessions. Just 3 bad possessions.
Yeah. We'll say 2.5 because the first one wasn't even really a possession. They turned it over like immediately.
One of the things that's been it seems like the more time you give the Cavs off, kind of the worse they look.
Yeah, they were really good when they played every night.
Yeah, that Wizards game wasn't really, wasn't their best showing ever.
No, worst shooting night of the season so far from the floor.
Yeah,
second worst from 3.
And then Nice, thank you. Since I'm watching on my phone, the screen's really small.
Yeah.
Oh, I can make it larger. Okay.
It's got to be a
But then I
struggle.
can't see the chat. That's fine.
It's okay. I'll do my best to keep the chat involved. I'll let you know if anyone says anything. If anyone
There you go,
addresses
Jared.
Jackson, now's the time to say whatever you want about Jackson. You can't see it.
I think I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it still shows up. I wrote in a preview that Jared Allen, you'd like to see 2 back-to-back good games from Jared Allen. That Wizards game was like the first time in a month he scored 20 points or more.
Yeah.
He's just been like a non-factor. I know people have like speculated that he could be injured. It's like it's really tough to like make that kind of speculation. But what we do know is that he just hasn't been assertive in the slightest, and you just can't be a non-shooting big who like isn't making a presence felt on either end. So that was a good basket from Jarrett. You just want to see more of that.
Cam Johnson, 2 threes already. Yeah, that was a good game from Jarrett though. Really stepped up. I mean, it's the worst team in the NBA. They should have blown him out, but he managed to get the job done. So hopefully we can see another good game from him.
Yeah, and obviously a much tougher matchup.
Yeah, surprisingly, Brooklyn's been a really scrappy team. No Cam Thomas, so they lose. No Dennis Schroeder either because he just got traded. So they actually lose, I think, their 2 top scorers.
Yeah,
for this game, so it should make it a little easier.
Yeah, and they have a 3-game homestand against the Bucks, who are going to be coming off of either a win or loss in the finals of the.
Yeah. Oh, what are we doing,
time.
man?
We can't do that.
Yeah.
Were both of those
just
on Darius?
I honestly don't even. The first one happened so fast I didn't even see who the hell turned it over.
Yeah. Well, you were.
I was reading the chat.
Your Spirit story.
Yeah, I was locked in. There we go. You made that look easy.
Yeah, that was bad. That Darius turnover. That was 2024-esque.
Yeah.
I mean, it still is 24, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Honestly, it was 2023-esque because it reminded me of that OKC game where he committed that same exact turnover like 4 times.
Well, now both of those games are going to be on national TV, so everybody can see him commit those turnovers. Will be a good all-star game. Ooh. Always one of my favorite things is when the guard splits the double. I think that's so one of my favorite things in basketball. It's so cool.
I love splitting the double, and when they snake the pick and roll and you get someone on your back like the Chris Paul. Darius Garland does it really well too. That's always fun to me as well.
Yeah. Well, the problem with the snake is that I don't want to see what happened there.
There was a lot of spin on there. Okoro, he's here. Star last game.
The problem I have with the snake is that it sometimes like leads to just like foul grifting, which
Yeah, Trae Young's really good at using the snake to get to the free throw line. Sniper Okoro, man, he was the only player who shot the ball well against Washington. He was great.
Yeah, but wasn't he responsible for Bilal Coulibaly?
I don't even know what happened there, man. Off. He just had one hell of a game. Coulibaly was really playing well. But yeah, Cavs, their effort wasn't there for most of that game up until the end. Sam Merrill and Dean Wade had a rough one. I think Dean Wolf might need to be retired because the full moon was on Sunday. The game on Friday was like one of the worst games I've seen Dean Wade play. So we might have to retire Dean Wolf. I don't know if there's actually a correlation there.
That's fair.
I've been locked into that comparison. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. Garland a little wobbly here.
Okay, so I can't actually see the chat unless I pull it up. Bilal is we don't need to say Bilal is good. You do not need to do that. I think people like his skill set and think that he can become good, but he's not currently good. There you go, Karis.
Here's Levert with his Ty Jerome impression. All right. Someone said Karis LeVert hasn't made a layup in months, and you know what? He's playing great, but it just makes every missed layup funnier to me. But he's playing great. Also, as far, to wrap up the Koulibaly discussion, Jackson is a man who he will never hand it to them. He will never hand it to them. So you really have to earn Jackson's respect. And Koulibaly isn't quite there yet.
What I will say is that I think it's easy to anoint players with Koulibaly's skill set, like his like physical traits. It's easy to kind of just like jump ahead and be like, oh, he has like similar traits to Giannis or like a Kawhi Leonard. Like he's gonna continue taking those steps that like those players took. And it's far more often that those players just never hit like at all and aren't even like a useful NBA player. I think that Koulibaly has shown that he can be a useful NBA player, so he's not like, I don't think he's like terrible or anything like that. But it's just, it seems like it's very rare that those guys fully hit their ceiling, and I sort of am gonna have to like see it before I really like buy into him, because obviously the tools are there and like he could become the next Giannis, and then I look stupid. But that's a very small percentage. Like that's a very small outcome that happens. It's more likely that he's just, a good player that you, or like a decent player that you can always talk yourself into being better than they actually are. Does that make sense?
Sure. We have a cool guy in the chat says he's going to comment on this, so I'm assuming he's typing something up to reply to you. But he also asked why. And here's the thing: Jackson's a grade A hater, and he did a good job explaining himself. But Jackson is a grade A hater, and we respect a good hater. So that's good perspective to have. Cool guy's new to the chat. He's not familiar with Jackson's game yet, so we got to give him some background. That he wants to add on to what you said.
I mean, I don't just hate for the fun of hating. I believe everything that I say for the most part. Yeah.
That's what makes it authentic. I do think I actually, I haven't seen people comparing him to Giannis. I'm not surprised if they have, but I wouldn't. League MVP, All NBA, like all superstar, like that status. I wouldn't put Koulibaly anywhere in that discussion, but I do think he's a very promising young player. I'm excited to see what he turns into, because definitely doesn't have the physique of Giannis or even Kawhi, but freak athlete, very agile, the vertical leaping ability, the defensive potential, and if he manages to put some more stuff together on offense, he could be a lot of fun. So I definitely am in on him as a prospect. I think I'm going to be really interested watching how he develops.
It's even kind of like an Okoro discussion where it's like
he's better than Okoro though.
Well, yeah, that's fine. But like you see the outlines of like, man, if you just like picked up this one skill or this one skill, now we're talking about like a serious, a grade A good NBA player.
Yeah. And like if you one day became an all-star, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right, but I kind of would be too, to a certain extent, because it's so hard to pick up like those skills that you need when you are like a raw I would say he's a unfinished product, and I think it's hard to pick up like those skills in the way that like you've seen a Giannis do that. Even like Evan Mobley, it's tough to for someone to become a 3-point shooter when they're not a 3-point shooter. But like one of the things with Mobley is that he's always had the skills. It's been kind of like applying the skills that he has to like in a way that makes sense. That's what's made him so good. Whereas like a lot of these guys, they just don't have the skills, the basketball skills to be, the player that their physical traits would like lead you to believe they could be.
Yeah. And last thing I'll say on that, and then we'll lock back into this game. I will say I do think usually, not all the times, but usually when it is a case like that for a player, I think it becomes apparent very quickly. Like I love Isaac Okoro, but I'll use him as an example. By year 2 or 3, it was pretty clear. All right, Okoro isn't going to be Jaylen Brown, Kawhi. He's not going to put it together on offense and be the superstar caliber player. you basically found out right away that he's going to have to be like a role player, someone who just finds a way to exist out there on offense without being a detriment. And he's improved a lot and grown a lot as a shooter, as a playmaker. With Koulibaly, I think he's already shown enough to be like, all right, he has skill. This isn't like Matisse Thybulle, anybody else who's just strictly riding off their athleticism. I think Koulibaly's already shown that he's progressing much more than other people who you might compare him to, other prospects. But let's lock in on this Cavs game here, because I don't think anyone's here for Koulibaly talk now. Okoro's balling. Nine to 2 run. Cavs starting to put it together here. I would love an effortless, stress-free win tonight. I think Okoro can be very, very impactful. He's already been impactful throughout his career, but just as far as the elite perimeter defense, he's shooting like 47% from three. He's still got work to do as far as, being used as a roller, creating
basketball
out of the short roll, being more. Well, he does a lot of great things already. Like, he's just got he's got some things to polish, but he's already a super valuable player to me. Woo!
Good shot from Darius. But
great step.
That's kind of a good example. Like, they take away the closeout, they take away the three, they take away the closeout. It's just an automatic reset, and that's fine. That led to a Darius Garland make, but like he still doesn't seem like he's
nice.
Good job, Karras. Still doesn't seem like he's like playing basketball. He's more like doing basketball like functions. And yeah, that was a terrible foul there.
The thing about that Okoro possession, though, is that yes, they close out to him and it's a reset. But the big thing is they closed out to him, and in years past they wouldn't even do that. They would just leave him completely open. I think it shows his growth right there that teams actually will close out to him.
They close out to him. They had to close out to him because they're not covering him.
That's the thing is before. But teams wouldn't even they were still within range of him. They weren't super far off of him hiding in the paint. They were one pass away, took 2 steps to close out to him. And I think that alone shows the growth that he's made in terms of being a threat.
I think we can.
Woo!
There you go.
Levert.
That's gonna help this. That's gonna help this be an easy night.
Levert's balling.
I think one of the things is you've always seen the growth with Okoro's skills. I think he's always taken steps forward as a 3-point shooter. He's always taken. I'd say he's taken some steps forward as a defender, but I think it's more so that he hasn't taken steps forward and okay, now I'm comfortable operating in this space. Now I'm comfortable running a pick and roll. Now I'm comfortable doing more basketball things. I think that's why I'm low on him, comparatively speaking. And also he's a good defender, but he's not a game-changing defender in the sense that he just creates turnovers in a way that you would really like. He's not stuffing the stat sheet with 2-3 steals. He's not a super impactful help defender. He's a really good shutdown corner that can sometimes take away the matchup. He's not somebody who's getting interceptions. That's a step ahead of the play, reading where the quarterback's going to go, things like that. That's where I would, my Okoro skepticism comes from. It's more so that as opposed to any skills, his shooting ability. That's clearly taken a step forward.
I do wish he was more of a defensive playmaker. I wish the steals and the blocks and stuff were a little higher. Cool guy. I just saw that you requested to be on the stage. If you still want to come up, I can get you on here real quick before the action comes back.
Let's try it. Would you mind doing that at halftime? Yeah.
Okay. We can save it for halftime. I didn't know I didn't know when you sent it. If you sent that back when we were talking about Koulibaly or if it was recent. So we'll bring you up at halftime.
We've actually, we are playback noobs, and we've never actually brought anybody up on stage.
Yeah, you'd be the first one.
But that is something that we could do. Dan's always here. Dan, if you have a take or something, you want to essentially call in and just jump on the stage. Same for anybody else. Demo 6, the other Danny, Geeky. You guys are always here. If you guys want to, Cleveland Cavaliers, if you guys want to come on the stage at any point, we can start trying to do that at halftime or something. Just to
try and
get a question in, get a take off. you know, I Kenny really looked good in the suit. I
Should
I
bring him back.
personally think that the NBA coaches look like 10 times more professional in suits than they do just in like basically like sweatpants and like a
Yeah.
pullover.
I'm honestly not even like super strict when it comes to the dress code. Like it doesn't bother me, but at the same time, I do think the suits looked cool. I think I like I wouldn't enforce it, but I wish that they would go back at some of them to wearing suits. I just think you look cooler in a suit.
And I
Probably not
think just
comfortable though.
I think like the assistant coaches
Karis
don't have
LeVert,
to
man.
like the assistant coaches don't need to wear a suit. I
Yeah,
think that
sure, they can do whatever. Yeah,
yeah, that's they can keep doing what they're doing, but I think the head coach should have to. Like you're the guy, look professional. Anyways, Karis,
Karis
you're getting
LeVert,
one of those
2 steals and
Karis
a block
games.
already.
Yeah, I feel like the Cavs can't lose a Karis LeVert game right now. It's the same way with like Ty Jerome. Like they just physically
Yeah,
cannot lose that. Like if you look at it,
defense is
they're just
getting
getting
active
so
now.
many steals.
Yeah,
He's gonna knock us down.
the
Yeah.
wheel, the Karis LeVert wheel gave us Gary Payton and Steph Curry on the same night.
Couldn't have
The
been more
Karis LeVert
confident that
wheel
that
with
shot was going down.
an incredible result for us.
I love Mobley here, point of attack defender.
Yeah,
Like that's something that I wish. That's something that I absolutely loved his first year when they did that like 3-2/2-3 zone where
yeah.
Mobley would like rotate between both. I just can't believe that like the Cavs saw rookie Mobley do that and said,
And never went
"Let's
back
never
to
do that again." You
it.
know,
Yeah,
he was so good,
dude, it
and
was
that's
amazing.
yeah. But yeah, they're just doing a great job playing the passing lanes. Donovan Mitchell, somebody who is, he may be the opposite of Isaac Okoro, super impactful in the passing lanes, not super impactful as like
Yeah.
a on-ball defender. Um,
Defensively, he's the opposite of Okoro, but he's also the opposite of
right.
Okoro in just basically every factor that
It's
you
just
could
about
think
everything.
of.
Yeah. Which really highlights the areas that you'd like to see Isaac grow in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's uh, when he gets steals, it's just a pick six.
Great instincts off the ball for jumping into the passing lanes. And yeah, that's just an entirely different skill set. And part of that comes from like it all ties together when you think of Okoro, like kind of always being in position, always limiting and suppressing shot attempts. It's because he doesn't really gamble too often. Whereas Mitchell, for all the times he gets those steals, there's also moments where he gambles and ends up out of position. So there's a give and take there. I think Mitchell just got hit in the
Ooh.
face. The Cavs, they've done a good job of taking some of the hits for Darius Garland this year. I've noticed there's like a certain quota for how many Cavs have to how often the Cavs have to be hitting that face. And last 2 years it was Darius taking all of them. Now other guys are starting to chip in. Donovan's taking a couple hits. I think Jarrett's been hit. They're trying to spread it out. It's really
Yeah,
nice
which
to see
is,
someone else step up.
I think everybody needs to wear masks on the team. You know,
and giant ankle braces. Yeah, Coro's still only 23, same age as Dalton Connect. Another
there you go,
steal.
Derek. Oh, there,
Got to get Sam going. We need Merrill Mania. Ooh, wow. He left Mitchell wide open at the top of the key, but Mobley said, actually, my wheel landed on Dirk Nowitzki, Evan Durant in the flash. That was nasty. Was that a one-legged fader? Yeah, we hear it from Merrill Mania.
KG was running around. Kevin Garnett was running around. NBA Cup practices today, asking questions in the media room. So I need to pose a question to him tomorrow. Like, are you concerned that Evan Mobley's going to accomplish 10 times more in his career than you ever did?
He might choke you out, Jackson. I don't know. If you want to.
It'd be great for content.
You've gotten away with Max Strus and Ty Jerome hating you. I don't think you want Kevin Garnett on your enemy list.
The thing is, Ty Jerome and the Max Strus hate, that's so unwarranted. Like, Max Strus hates me for no reason. Ty Jerome, I don't know. I think it's because I ask questions very directly, and I think that's Ty Jerome. That maybe what's did it with Ty Jerome. Same with Max Strus because he answers people who answer questions very directly. I feel like don't
I see what
don't
you're
take kindly to my questions. You know, like if you've heard Max talk, he's very direct.
He's very blunt.
Yeah, so I think it's kind of like, we may be cut from the same cloth, so that could be the problem. Also, watching on the phone, I can't change the volume of the stream.
I think you can somehow because I watched
No,
when we did. There's got to be a way. I'm pretty sure I
all
figured
the
it
way
out.
up. I have it all the way up, and then
Oh.
I just can't hear anything. So I know how to access that. So, anyways,
Weird.
don't know what's happened.
Yeah.
Thank you. I am the real victim.
Brad was incorrect with this Hawks pick. He led us all astray, by the way.
I mean, did he lead us all astray? He only led the idiots astray.
Okay. Also, Danny, I think you might already know this, but I think you can adjust. I think everyone can adjust their own. Oh shoot! I just muted myself trying to show. I think everyone can control their own volume. So like my volume is different than Jackson's or yours. So you can turn up the stream volume, or you can turn up our volume, or you can kind of mix it however you want. I have my game volume down pretty low. Yeah, it's nice that everyone can adjust their volume however you want. Yeah, Brad.
Right, so you can just
Demo said he bet his mortgage on the Hawks. Brad's responsible for this.
Well, that's tough. That's tough, Demo.
Brad
if only you listen to other people who tried to, steer you clear of that.
Brad has never been wrong, as far as I know.
I can't even hear him this game.
First time ever.
He may be right. Oh, that's out on the Nets, yeah.
I think so.
Good job. Good job, George.
Yang with the Magic Johnson save. I don't even know why he was trying to save it like that.
Yeah.
Karis LeVert's looking fast tonight. Oh man, great closeout
right
there.
He really is.
But Karis
he blew by his defender like he was. Yeah, that was insane.
He's feeling good.
Like he was like John Moran or somebody. Just like one dribble blow by.
He got downhill like crazy.
Yeah. The help was there too quickly.
Couple weird turnovers, but hey, they're up 17. So, Brooklyn, they're playing capture the flag right now. They're tanking hard. They don't have much. I'm sure Dorian Finney-Smith, Cam Johnson, they'll be gone soon enough. Who knows where they will end up? Maybe Cleveland, probably not. I think we'll probably get outbid on both of those guys, but I assume the Nets have every intention of just bottoming out this season, despite their strong start. Yeah, they're just staying in shape. Get your numbers, don't get hurt. You'll be on a playoff team shortly, most likely. Donovan, a little grifty tonight. It's the second time he kicked his feet out on a three-point attempt. Karis LeVert, man.
There you go, Karis.
We are so back. This is the resurgence that we thought we were seeing last year.
I mean, he's been great all season. I mean, he hasn't been,
good.
This guy all season, but he has been good all season.
Look at him on defense, all the way up at the logo. Already passes him off to Mobley. It's not a switch that you want. You don't want Mobley switched on to you. Sam, come on. Should have gave it to Karis. Wow. We didn't see that. The Sam agenda is looking dire, but it's okay. Yeah, man. What is he shooting from the? Do you know what is Sam Merrill shooting from the 3-point line? It's like 30% now, 32%.
It's really low. It's bad.
It's much lower than.
We're not talking about.
Oh, it's 34%. So slightly better. Listen,
it's in like Max Strus territory.
Yeah. What's funny is like this is a slump for Sam Merrill, and it's still 34%, which really isn't that bad. But the difference is Max Strus gives you a lot of other things. Sam Merrill does a decent job of evening out everything else in this game.
What is
But
Max Strus giving you this year, Tony?
well,
That's what
aside from his incredible vibes, he hasn't given us anything yet. But my point is, Sam really is out there for that 3-point shooting. He can break even on defense. He can break even on attacking closeouts. Maybe being generous there, but he does his best to fit in. The thing is, he's out there for his 3-point shot, so you really hope that he can go from 34% to closer to 40% at some point this year.
John Michael's silence after a bad miss hurts worse than anything. That is so true. He's like a disappointed parent. He's just like I can't even say anything right now. Like I'm just so disappointed.
It's bad when the mic cuts out.
LeVert for 3.
Oh yeah, Merrill for 3. Nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. The way off is I think that's like Mike Breen finds joy in the way off almost.
Yeah.
And I think you can kind of appreciate that even if it's your guy. He's laughing at you. Whereas John Michael's just disappointed. Dude, why are you doing this to me?
Yeah, way off is a signal that the game is getting out of hand, not in your favor.
Or that somebody from the other than a Nick shot the ball and missed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, thank you to everybody who's joined so far. If anybody needs access to the stream, let us know.
Yeah, thank you to everyone being here. If you're new, if this is your first time here, or if you found yourself in here before, but you're not already following us, go ahead and hit that follow button. It's free. You can become a member. You get to hang out with us. You'll see whenever we go live. We do basically every Cavs game, and throughout the week, we do a couple different marquee NBA matchups. So feel free to hit that follow button. Stick around.
By marquee NBA matchups, Tony means we have streamed Hornets, Pistons.
That was a great matchup.
Raptors
ended on a game winner.
So our definition of marquee is different than everybody else's. Yeah, that's tough.
Demo, I think you said it perfectly there. Way off is you're being kicked while you're down, but when John Michael's silent, that's when you're opening a Christmas present and there's nothing inside.
That shouldn't be a call. That's
a
nothing. He just hit BB twice.
Yeah. that's a complete flop right there.
Yeah, that was insane.
Mobley's strong. He's gotten a lot stronger, but he's still not strong enough to tap you.
Nobody's strong enough once they come to a complete stop. And then he flops on the other end too. Yeah. Get this guy out of here. We don't need him him in Cleveland.
It's a completely natural shooting motion for you to do a somersault after attempting a 3-pointer. All right.
I mean, it is.
That's just how you shoot threes.
I mean, George Niang would, but it's
he actually might have gotten fouled.
Gravity. That
I think that was actually a decent call.
I mean, he might have got fouled, but it's just the grifting. It's the
afterwards
nature. Yeah. We don't need that.
This is his tryout game, all right?
This is where the G League thing would really help. 3 free throws, that's like a minute of your life that you just don't get back. And nothing cool is happening.
No, you missed one.
Yeah. And if he, went there and missed he missed the first one, then, we don't even have to worry about it. Or if he, or he makes it.
For anyone who doesn't know how the G League works, you shoot, let's say you get fouled on a 3-pointer, you shoot 1 free throw. Yeah, for anyone new to the game, you shoot 1 free throw, you get all 3 points. If you make it, you miss, you don't get any of them. Same thing with you get fouled, you shoot on a 2-point shot, 1 free throw, you either get 2 points, you get none. Until the last 2 minutes of the game, then it's normal.
Yeah, then it's normal. But even and ones are just worth 1 point at that point. So you're just shooting 1 free throw. It's just worth how how many free throw attempts you would have had.
Mm.
So it evens out usually. But it just makes the game go
20-point
by so
lead for the
faster.
Cavs. Yeah, it
Donovan
definitely
Mitchell
does.
taking up some space there, being a good point of attack defender, taking it to
There we go.
you, Tony.
To suffocate right there. 24-second violation.
They
don't keep track of this anymore.
They have played some decent defense this game. And one thing that like the narrative that the Cavs turned like the defense around after that first Hawks loss, I'm kind of weary of, because I felt like after that first Hawks loss, teams just weren't hitting as many threes against him, and the defense kind of still sucked. But this game, I think the defense has been very good. A lot of that's Kersenberg getting a bunch of turnovers. Yeah.
Yeah. Good cut from George.
I feel like this isn't the team. Last year, doubling Donovan Mitchell made a lot of sense when nobody was doing anything on the backside. But like, that was such an easy pass to Niang because everyone's moving and there's like an actual plan of attack, as opposed to just like, well, we're all just standing here. So it seems like you haven't seen teams double Donovan Mitchell very often, but when they have, that's like just an easy basket. Not an easy basket because Mitchell did make a great play, but you know, I think you get my point.
Ooh, another clean look here for George. Oh, that was halfway in.
Yeah. Good job there by Donovan, though. He's just beating his guy and the double so easily that like guys are just scrambling like crazy. Also, I'm not sure when the Cavs play the Rockets, but the Rockets, their ability to like rotate is mesmerizing.
Nasty defense.
Like, I don't even know.
January 22nd and 25th, they play their two Rockets games basically.
So
back
they play
to back.
like they play the Rockets and the Thunder like in such a short time frame. That's crazy.
Man,
Thunder,
that's gonna be a rough 4 games.
The Thunder are just so good because like every guy on the court's like an A+ defender.
Okoro with a steal, play in the passing lane. All right, probably should have shot that.
No,
but you know what? Who said he doesn't get steals? Whoa.
See, not even a basket off of that. That just shows how
he said you wanted more defense. You didn't say you wanted offense.
No, yes.
You said his offense was fine.
Well, I wanted a pick 6. He should have gone up.
Jerome.
Is Ty Jerome going to make a shot again?
Just a little bit.
At this point,
he was really letting the game come to him earlier.
It was like 3 weeks ago. It was like Ty Jerome, got to protect him at all costs. He's going to get at least $50 million. Will somebody offer him a max? It's possible. Okay. Like, he's definitely playing his way out of Cleveland. Now it's like, well, if you had to throw Ty Jerome in a deal for like an upgrade, I don't know if you're thinking too hard about it. Just to make salaries work. So that's we've come a long way in like a month.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is he just needs to get back to letting the game come to him. Like with that 3-point shot, forced it a little bit. Should have just played with them within the offense.
He was forcing things when he was good, though. That's kind of the thing that you can't. But really, like.
He was only forcing it after he had already, established himself, hit a couple floaters, set somebody up. He was already rolling when he would pull up from 30. Now he's like, first shot of the game, I'm taking it from 28. Dean Wade with a 3, by the way. Let's go.
The Nets are like 2 of 5 from 3, I think it said. And that's just
it's been very bad.
The Cavs have done a really good job of. Like their point of attack defense has been really good. They're not giving up rotations. They're not giving up threes. There you go, Ty. They're not.
Did you notice that all happened because Okoro attacked a closeout and hit my man Ty?
I was making a point, so I didn't see it.
Look, they close out hard to him. Bam, beat him off the dribble.
I saw it. Yeah.
Ty Jerome.
Maybe the worst help defense I've ever seen.
Yeah, most really no need to be that far down.
because
So
he
much for the oppo.
certainly wasn't, the drive was certainly bottled up. But yeah, good pass. Good pass,
Yeah.
good decision. I
Demo
just want to
said
see him
tape
do that.
Jackson's
Like,
eyes open and play that on repeat.
I just want to see him do stuff like that when he's not catching from the corner, taking two dribbles, and then doing something. Like, do something more within like a more basketball like play. Like, does this make sense? Like, maybe it's
I think you're
because
being harsh on my guy right now.
when I play pickup basketball, I try to stay in the corners. I try to limit myself to two dribbles. Like, two dribbles, the shot needs to go up, the pass needs to go out. If we're taking three dribbles, it could be going off my foot. So, and that's how it feels like Isaac Okoro plays. And the frustrating thing is when you watch Isaac Okoro play, he gets inside pretty good. He initiates contact. He gets to the line. So I think that's where it's like, unlike me, he has basketball skills. So it's just like, I just like to see you use those more, man. That's all.
Yeah, I think at least some of that comes back to his role in the offense. It's definitely better than it was last year, where it really felt like he wasn't allowed to dribble even once. Felt like standing in the corner.
Yeah.
If you catch the ball, it was an accident. We didn't mean to pass to you. Just please get the ball out of your hands. Now he is able to do a little bit more, but it's still like, when you're out there with Donovan, whoever else, you're still the third or fourth ball handler. But you got to be aggressive at times. So there's, like I said, it's not perfect yet, but he's been progressing, and just even a tiny play like that. Yes, it's very bad defense from Brooklyn, but against Boston, we saw like him catching it on the short roll, hitting Evan Mobley. He's being used in different ways. So I think the Okoro stock is trending up. I think Okoro Island has seen some pretty solid weather. It's not a utopia or a paradise yet, but the
I think
weather's been
Okoro
nice.
stock is kind of like, it's like a Vanguard fund that like doesn't really move up too often, but
Yeah,
also
it's
isn't really like moving down a
you're-
lot.
it's not going to
Like,
make you rich, but you'll
it
get your
is what it
money's
is.
worth. It's probably not going to bottom out anytime soon. So it's like a safe. The fog has lifted. The merchant ships have begun passing by. Like I said, you're not living in paradise, but it's not a bad place to be. If you're on a budget and you want to go visit an island,
Is
Okoro
Okoro
Island's open for
Island put in
business.
bay? Is it put in bay?
That's honestly, putting Bay in the summer is not too bad. It's a little overpriced probably, but it's maybe a little bit better than putting Bay. It's not Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach is not great. I don't know if anyone's been there. I know a lot of Clevelanders go to Myrtle Beach for whatever reason. I went to Myrtle Beach my senior year of high school, and it's not great. So it's better than Myrtle Beach. Probably a little bit better than Put in Bay. I'm not sure. We'll have to find the correct island, but Okoro Island, it's not too bad. Sun poisoning. I've never heard of that.
Craig Porter Jr. Island. If you travel
It's not a great place to be.
76, going to Youngstown, which I do often because I have family in Youngstown. There's like a little river, and there's like these like very small like islands that have like one tree on them, and like nobody's ever like set foot on them. I'm pretty sure that's what like Craig Porter Jr. Island is. So
yeah, man, it's been bad. Demo said he fell asleep in Myrtle Beach in the sun and got sun poisoning. See, I'm Italian, so I have I got a little bit of a melanin in my skin. I can handle the sun just a little bit. But that's unfortunate. That does suck.
That's happened.
1% melanin.
It's always the worst.
I get a good tan of people are always surprised. And that's when I get to remind them that my name is Tony and I am Italian. But I still get burnt though. I still get burnt.
Allegedly.
All right, this is really, Cavs up 51-22, and it's felt effortless. We're destroying them. I think a performance like this is what everyone expected against Washington. But you know what, man? Don't take a performance like this for granted. I know Brooklyn sucks. They're not a very good team. We're absolutely destroying them, but it's not easy to do this in the NBA. It's not easy. You have to be a very good team to destroy teams like this the way the Cavs have throughout the start of the season here. So I know we wanted them to beat Washington by 20, 30 points. We only beat them by 10, and people were a little disappointed. It's hard. It's hard to win games by 20 points in the NBA. So we'll see where this game ends up. But right now, they're absolutely destroying them. Ty Jerome's back. We're so back. We thought it was over. We're back now.
Listen, it's a 31-point game. Let's calm down with that. Nobody can be back.
Man. You gotta let them cook.
Yeah, I think we would say this is a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
let's not
in all seriousness, yeah. I said a good quarter though. See, I like attacking right there rather than just pulling that deep three. That's what I mean when I say play within the flow of the game.
My stream cut out. I'm not sure what happened when Jerome touched the ball, but I'm guessing it was
no, he caught it on a kick out, pump faked, drove, passed to Garland. Didn't end up in a bucket, but he could have easily pulled that deep three, but he decided to attack a closeout, generate something. Danny says Schroeder and Cam Thomas were the only guys on Brooklyn that could initiate any offense. It's really rough having both those guys out there. Now you have Ben Simmons trying to get away from Dean Wade, and it's just not going well.
Ooh.
Garland fighting over a screen gets hit. Not sure what happened there. Took a stinger, maybe. Probably just, knee to knee.
Yeah, that's not fun.
Stepped on him too, yeah. Hopefully that's something that just, hurts a little bit in the morning. Honestly, you could just bench him. Take the night off.
Let Karras cook. Fortunately, you have 3 days off before your next game. Friday against the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, against Milwaukee. Sorry. They play Philly Saturday, right?
Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes. No Embiid.
Yeah, no Embiid.
This will be the 5th time in a row the Cavs have played the Sixers without Embiid.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
A lot of teams probably can say something like that, though.
They're only 2-2 in those games, though. So tough stuff from our guys.
Yeah. Whew, look at that field goals this quarter. Brooklyn shooting 1 of 10. Cavs 7 for 11. That was a nice three. Simmons emptied that tank on the opening play.
Kenny was furious. He said, "They're hitting shots, guys. We got to talk this over." Look at him.
What is this crap?
He's not happy. Kenny's, I feel like Kenny's least happy when it's a blowout. Like he gets like, I feel like because there's nothing, and I think he may be a hater as myself. So when there's like nothing,
he didn't seem happy after the Washington game.
Well, I think that's different. But like after like a blowout, like he was not happy after like the Warriors game, and it was like you literally like were up 40 or something at one point in that game. So I think he sometimes like he'll like fixate on like small things, I think, when everything is going well, and then just kind of like irritates him. That's my psycho analysis of him.
He's a sicko.
He's a sicko.
We love it. What's going on to everyone in the YouTube chat? I just want to say what's up to you guys. We appreciate you being there. If you want to head over to Playback, you can see the game along with us. We also have a couple VIP passes that will let you, if you don't have a league pass, you'll be able to see the game on screen with us. But if not, you can continue watching on YouTube. Just sync it up with your TV. And thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. I won't be able to see your chat as easily. I have to check my phone, which is currently on the charger in the other room, but I just pulled it up on my MacBook just to see what's going on over there. And I see a couple people saying what's up. So hello. I'm probably like 10, 20 minutes late to saying hi to you guys, but thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Same thing with everyone in Playback.
Tony, do you know the answer to this question?
Keeping Up with the Kardashians, who the 5 sisters that form the Khloe, Kim, I don't know, Kylie, Kendall. Did I get them all? I didn't get Courtney.
That's 4.
If you would have gave me a little longer, I could have got it. I've never actually watched the show, but that's pretty common knowledge, right?
We'll let the chat decide.
Love a good trivia question. Yeah, I'm secretly a huge Kardashian fan. We have gone over that I watched Jersey Shore, but a lot of people watched Jersey
I
Shore
mean,
back in the day.
you had to be like 8 when that show came out.
I was in middle school. I was in 7th grade.
Maybe at like the tail end of the show.
No, I don't know. When did Jersey Shore come out?
I feel like we've gone over this a bunch.
Yeah.
I think you were in like 5th grade.
Jersey Shore came out in 2009. So I was like I was like 6th, 7th grade. Somewhere around there.
See, that's what Ty Jerome needs to hit. Like you can't get there and then like blow that.
Damn.
If you're Ty Jerome. Ooh.
Someone cool guy, I know Jackson can't see the chat. Cool guy just called me Unk because I revealed how old I am. First off, Jackson's older than me, but we won't
That's
go
tough.
there.
I've never heard anybody call Tony old.
Here's the thing, Jackson. Bleacher Report, House of Highlights posted. I made like well, I'm sure everyone will remember the play. It was the play where Donovan Mitchell was shamelessly going for the triple double, so he like had a wide open layup and passed it. I tweeted like when you accidentally press pass in 2K or something. House of Highlights reposted that, and I clicked on the comments, and one of the comments was like, "This is an old head joke" or something like that, and had a bunch of likes. And I was like, I feel so hurt right now. This is like an old person joke that I made. It kind of is, I guess, but like I was like, wow, this is the first time I've been called old. I feel like that joke's been made since like 2013, probably. I feel like people have made that joke a lot, but
but I think
they were like, this is an old person joke.
Right, but it's still like relevant. Like people still play 2K, yeah. Like you can still do that.
Let's go, Okoro. See, I may be old, but I'm on the right side of history when it comes to Isaac.
I mean, this is not an NBA game right now.
60 to 25.
Like,
oh my god!
Point, I think it's like you have to like, you know.
Can I say something though? This doesn't feel as bad as what we did to Golden State. Golden State, it felt even more dominant.
Well,
this is just
the Warriors. Well, I think because the Warriors are a good team, and like the fans were just losing their minds.
Yeah.
So whereas like this game, it's like the fans are just kind of there because it's something to do on a Monday night, and they're just like, whatever.
Dean, let it fly. Too good to be true. Yeah, I mean, dude, they got 27 about halfway through the.
What was that doing there?
It just smoked a layup. 27 points halfway through the quarter here.
That's thank you for calling that. That was a carry that they don't always call.
Man,
I just can't believe somebody called you an old head.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
You know what? Actually, it's happened before too. It actually happened. I think the first time I ever got called old was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. We were playing basketball and we won our game. And so the people who had next, it was a bunch of high schoolers, and they like said to one of their friends, like, "No way, we're about to play these old ass dudes." And I looked at my friend. I'm like, "Are they talking about us?" And they were like, "We can't play against you guys. This isn't fair." I'm like, man. I'm like 23 years old at that time.
you guys won, correct?
Yes, we did win that game. I don't remember the details. They were in high school. But listen, they were like at least juniors or seniors in high school. They were like 17 years old. I'm like, dude, when I was your age, I was playing against older people all the time at the park. So I don't know, like why. They were like, we can't play them. We have to play someone else. I'm like, well, we won, so we're not getting off the court. So ball up top. But yeah, that was the first time I ever got called old. And me and my friends were shocked. We were like, are we that old now? So, it happens. Now I'm so old that when I went to the open gym, I think I told the story on stream already, but I went to open gym at my old high school back in like September. Dude, I was gassed. These kids are running. They're subbing in and out. We didn't have any subs. I was so tired. My legs were giving out on me. It was bad. We still managed to win a couple games, but I don't know, man. It was a sign that I need to get back on the treadmill. And I have, but I still don't think I'm back to where I used to be. Oh, I think we lost Jackson. By the way, I see the little Wi-Fi symbol. But yeah, man, Listen, I'm 26. It catches up to you quick. You go from playing basketball every day for like, I don't know, especially in the summer, like probably 5 hours a day. So you get a little bit older. Now you only play once a week or something. It comes up quick on you. Yeah, Demo. Thought you were gonna need CPR. Yeah, especially this last summer. Because like I have a dog. I have my dog Apollo. Used to take him on hikes all the time, and that would keep me in shape even when I wasn't playing basketball. Um, but then I just started taking him up to the park and playing fetch rather than hiking as often. And yeah, in September, I realized I was like, man, I have not been as active as I should be. So started adding an extra 30 minutes on the treadmill to my gym time, and it's made a difference. But you get old, man, the back pain starts setting in. You feel out of touch with the youth. The XXL freshman list comes out, and I have no idea who the hell any of these people are. Yeah, playing the alumni game with beers in, that's a whole different experience. I don't think I've ever played basketball after drinking, so I can't speak to that, but I'd imagine that just adds a whole nother layer of a challenge for you. Ooh, Karis had him. Karis. Oh, okay, I get you, Demo. Yeah, I get what you're saying now. Karis had that dude stumbling. Oh man, that hurts. Wide open layup when you're already down like this. It's unfortunate. Jalen Tyson's out. I hope JT Thor is available. I don't know if Amani Bates is available. He made his return on Friday to the charge. He's been out with a knee injury for a while. I don't know if either of those guys are available, but seems like they might get a chance if they are. Yeah, that was a nasty step back. I mean, Karras has just been unreal tonight. He'll make the step back, but he smoked the transition layup earlier this game. It's so funny. I don't know if Derpy's still here, but 120 points is going to be easy. Getting free French fries before the end of the third quarter, probably not. But yeah, they didn't get it on Friday. I think they only scored 115. I was rooting for you, Derpy. Missed the free throw. Switching with George Niang up top, doing a good job moving his feet. Look at that, shutting him off. He had nowhere to go. Ben Simmons wanted nothing to do with the ball right there. Offense just looks impossible for Brooklyn right now. Cavs playing really good defense. And the Nets just don't have many options. Hit him. Took a little while to get the ball to Wade right there. LeVert again. All right. That's the most Karis LeVert possession of all time. Airball, the easy one, get it back, and then you knock it down. That's the most Karis LeVert possession I've ever seen in my life. Replace Simmons with Caitlin Clark. Honestly, they probably have more points right now. Not sure where he was going with that one. It's going to be an interesting second half. I don't know who the Cavs. I hope we get to see some of the younger guys out there.
Well, there's no Travers today.
No Travers. Oh, I forgot Luke Travers altogether. No Thor. I know no Tyson.
CPJ. I think Thor's the only one.
No Amani.
No Amani.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll get to learn some JT Thor and some Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, gonna see some Tristan Thompson, JT Thor. I think that's about it.
We'll see more Sam. Get him going would be nice. Yeah, well, so Amani returned to the charge on Friday, so I don't know.
Saturday.
I thought they played Friday. Oh, but did
Let's
he
play
return
both.
Saturday?
He returned Saturday.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, sorry. That's why I got mixed up. They played 2 games. Yeah, I don't know when we'll see him on an NBA court, but he is back with the Charge already. Whoa!
He's just
Donovan
getting
Mitchell.
the. I mean, that was a great move. Phenomenal dunk. I don't think we've seen him. We haven't seen him get up like that
Thank you for saying that.
this year. Yeah.
I don't think we've seen him get up like that since the knee injury last year.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
Like
it feels like it's been a good year and a half since we saw Donovan explode like that.
he has not got up like that in a long time.
So that is very good to see.
Yeah. I was I was just distracted by their perimeter defense is so bad right now. The Nets. It's like one dribble and
I think
they're just
everything
gone.
is bad right now for the Nets. I don't know if there's a single thing
True.
you can look at. It started
It's
off
true.
they started off way up here with that Ben Simmons dunk. You know,
They're
they
up
steal
5-0,
it up.
I think.
Yeah, they went up 5-0, man.
Yeah.
They scored 35 points since then.
Kenny's a madman. Look at him. Look at him go.
They were up 7-0, yeah. They scored their first 10 points in like the first 2 minutes of the game.
Looking at the next 4, Cavs got to win the next 3. I know the Bucks are a better team, but they're not going to
Better than they were, you mean?
Yeah, whatever happens tomorrow in Las Vegas, if they win, they're not really going to be like, I'm sure they're going to spend tomorrow evening here. You know what I mean? Like they're not flying back to Milwaukee right away. They may even spend like, I'm not sure. They may just spend the whole time here and then just fly to Cleveland on like Thursday. So I don't know. Like you're probably just not going to get a great Milwaukee team ready for the Cavs' like physicality in Cleveland after being in Las Vegas. So I think that the Cavs can come out quickly and kind of establish assert their dominance in a game. And then the Sixers suck and then the Jazz suck. So it's like you'd like to win those ones before going on that West Coast trip because January is going to be a tougher month. Let's double hit this, Karras.
John Michael silence.
John Michael silence.
He got real loud, and then there's nothing.
Darius is hanging on the rim. Just trying to show that he can get up there. Dean is really impressed
on your back. Just for anyone, you don't have to be able to reach the rim. I do it at the little things that they have at the gym. You just hang from like a pole like that. Feels so good on your back. Just thought I'd throw that in there for anyone. That's how you know I'm getting old. See, it shows up at random times.
Maybe you're not getting old. You're just washed. I think that's a difference.
I don't know, man. I think I'm still entering my prime. Yeah, let's get Cool Guy up on the stage real quick. Get some takes off.
Does anybody else want to come up on the stage? Now's your chance since we're letting this happen.
Welcome, Cool Guy. How you doing, man?
I'm all right. What about you guys?
Doing good, man. We appreciate you being here. Thanks for coming up on stage.
No problem, man.
Are you here to call us old?
Nah. You're not even that old. I'm just like I just play around. Everyone's gonna get there in life. I'm not gonna lie. I did want to add to ask what Jackson some of those. You said they were comparing Koulibaly to who?
I've seen people compare him to Giannis, like have a Giannis like track, because he came into the, it's a very easy comp in the sense that like they're both physically gifted, they're both Europeans, they're both not super polished, so like that's a really low hanging, comparison the same way that like when Patrick Williams came in the league, it was like, hey, he could be the next Jimmy Butler, So I think it's easy to like see somebody kind of have that like track and then jump to like, well, if he just adds this and this and this and this, then he can be like an all-star level player. And My thing is just that it's hard to add some of the things that he needs to like refine. So that was my whole thing.
Nah, I agree with that. I think some of it is just when you have, because I'm assuming you're talking about when they came in as rookies, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of the comparisons are like really, really lazy. I wasn't even aware of the Patrick Williams one, but that's probably even worse than the Bilal Coulibaly.
Yeah, that's even worse.
That's probably even worse. So I think you got to be really, and I think fans kind of like of like every team, like I know with the Celtics is part of like all like what that's the same thing with Celtics too. You really got to be careful with a lot of these comparisons because it just puts like really, really like unrealistic expectations with a rookie, especially rookies that are like what 18, 19 years old instead of like a vet rookie, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
like I think you gotta really be careful. Like that a Giannis comparison for Coulibaly is just kind of lazy. I'm not gonna lie, it's also really lazy. I think he's a much better like shot maker, especially from 3 points than Giannis, which alone would just like that's just not a good comparison. So
Right.
yeah,
Also,
that's
you're also
No,
going to
Coulibaly's
see
also
people.
he's 195 pounds, so I don't like it just
yeah,
strictly
that
off
too.
their
Frame,
play
Well,
frame
style.
how big was Giannis when he came in? He wasn't that much bigger than that.
I mean, he was a
He was
twig.
really
He was kind of
skinny.
a twig, almost like
He's
when
an
he
exception.
when he came in. But I think when we compare him to Giannis, because you're not gonna say, "Oh, rookie Giannis." Well, you know, when we're comparing him to Giannis, you're comparing him to, you know, the Giannis we all know. You know, 2021 Giannis or whatever. You know, that Giannis, not rookie Giannis.
Right.
Yeah, and because how much of a player was Giannis when he was a rookie? I mean, not that much of a player. So you're comparing him to rookie Giannis. So yeah.
Yeah, that's where I think that it's easy to hit the rookie Jimmy Butler benchmark. It's easy to hit the Giannis rookie benchmark. It's impossible to like keep that trajectory going, you know, if that makes sense, where it's like those players' growth was like so far out of the norm of what you expect a player to grow that I think comparisons like that are just really tough. And that's where I think that like Bilal would have to grow exponentially in a way that is not something that you see very often for him to really become like an all-star level-ish player.
I think he'd be an all-star. I don't know about like all NBA.
Yeah, I agree
both
with
the
that.
East. So
he's only 20 years old. And I do think, like I was trying to say earlier, and I'll try and use examples maybe to better articulate it. But if you think of guys who maybe fall into this category, who get those unfair expectations, whether it's like someone like Jarrett Culver, Cam Reddish, like think of those types of athletic wings who you just convince yourself if they get some of these skills, they could be the next Jimmy Butler, the next Kawhi, whatever. I think Coulibaly has already shown more than those guys ever did, like more than Cam ever did, more than Jarrett Culver. I'm sure I'm thinking there's probably 12 other guys who I'm not even thinking of off the top of my head, but he's already showing to be like he has legit skills. It isn't a strictly hypothetical. The question is, how much farther can he take it? Can he be an all-star player? I wouldn't rule it out. All NBA, that's maybe pushing it, but you know, overall, like if you're comparing him to Giannis, you're crazy. But if you're just excited for a young, exciting prospect, where I am, then I don't see anything wrong with it.
I think the thing with Giannis, people have to remember once Giannis retires, he's going to go down as one of the greatest players to ever play the game. So comparing a prospect, especially to him, is just like, especially the way he plays is just very unique. It's just like, well, unless it's almost like reminiscent of Giannis, it's just probably just not a good comparison. Are you? I think the era of people coming into the league, almost any young, usually African American guard that will come into the league that had some sort of athleticism, you would compare it to Michael Jordan. I think we're over that era, thank God. So that was a thing, and really only two of them managed to be like live up like anywhere close to him. So I think that's just like, you know. I don't know. I just feel like that's just kind of like it doesn't really make any sense sometimes, but you know.
So I have a question for you since you're a Celtics fan. Who's the greatest player of all time? Are you a LeBron hater? Is it Jordan to you?
I'm not a LeBron hater, but I still think it's
Okay.
Jordan.
Okay, fair enough. I have decided back when I was younger, I used to get really heated into it. Like LeBron's the greatest of all time. Or, like I would argue with people. Now, as long as you say Jordan or LeBron as the GOAT, I'm cool. If you say Kobe, if you say Kevin Durant or whatever, I'm like, all right, you're a little.
I mean, I joke around with my friends all the time, and I say Tatum is the GOAT, but that's just like a banter I have with my that's just banter I have with my friends.
That's totally fair.
Realistically speaking, I still think it's MJ.
Yeah, to me, whether it's like 1A, 1B to me, it's like MJ and LeBron. Those are the two GOATs. Anyone else, I don't even really want to hear the case for. But as long as you say one of those two, makes sense to me.
I would agree I would agree up to a certain. I think there are maybe a couple other people that maybe you want to put in that tier that's like somewhat fair, but I don't think it's just strictly those two, to be honest.
Okay, there's plenty of guys who like.
Yeah, I mean,
it's no knock to like Magic Johnson or anyone else to be.
I meant like Kareem or something,
or Kareem too. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I think it's disrespectful to have Jordan like even at 3 is definitely the highest you can put him. I mean,
you're saying Jordan at 3 is the highest?
I'm about to say the highest?
For sure. The highest.
Here comes the hater.
But that's fine.
Who's the two ahead of him? Karis LeVert and who?
Listen, Kareem, obviously, and LeBron. But
okay, so
you know, ahead of Michael?
MJ. That is very interesting.
Yeah. I don't need to get into it, but it's not.
Jackson with the hot take.
I think Michael Jordan is by far the most overrated athlete of all time, and
what are we doing?
You could really get me.
He's a grade A hater. You got to
talk about the era that he played in with illegal defense. You know, really allowing him to just take people one-on-one. He's maybe the best one-on-one player against people that are similarly sized. Maybe that's something that we could argue.
We don't condone everything that just because I'm on stream with Jackson all the time. I condone all this opinion. I want to be clear.
You know, in how he scored. So, you know, on a great team. So when we say 6 for 6, you know, like that's great. That's a team stat. Like that's not an individual stat. You know,
I mean, his teammates literally said they carried him. I mean, Scotty said that until, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Scotty's. I mean, yeah, in the sense that like your best player is always going to carry you to a certain extent. Like Jaylen Brown was the best player for the Celtics in the finals. I wouldn't say he carried the Celtics, you know, but you could also say he carried the Celtics. You know,
I've never heard anyone say Brown carried the Celtics to the finals or even in the finals in general. Or at least the spaces I've been in. I'm pretty sure I've heard
that's fine. We can agree to disagree. I think Jaylen Brown played a very significant role in the Celtics winning the finals in the series against the Mavs. But
no, he did. You know, but that finals was. I think it would have been a more competitive finals if OKC was there instead of Mavs, because I just feel like
I agree with
the matchup.
It's a very
for some reason Kyrie just has a knack of just playing like crap against the Celtics. I don't know what it is specifically.
Yeah, it annoys me because I want to see him. I want to see him beat you guys. Sorry,
and then
I still love Kyrie.
And Luka Luka. I know he's a great offensive player, but that finals really he's a very one-way player.
It was a very loud. Mavericks punched above their weight to get to the finals, and then
that's what Kyrie was doing. Kyrie was playing better than he's played in
a long time,
5-10 years in that final, like in that run of the finals.
Real quick,
he just came back to earth.
Back to Jackson's Michael Jordan take. I just want to say if you think that, you know, maybe his legacy and some of the myth of Michael Jordan's a little overrated, I could give you that. I still think to me he's the second greatest player of all time. And if you say he's number one, I don't pretty easily. But that's fair. I just wanted to say I do agree some of his legacy has been maybe a little, you know, it's the myth. I'm sure LeBron 20 years from now there's going to be some myths that you know people overlook, but
honestly, I don't think LeBron's ever going to have the myth just because of the way that sports media is done, like it's a very different era, like I think we saw that, like a great example of that was like the Mike Tyson still has the juice in the sense that like people will still watch him because he's from that era. And I think in that time period, we did a lot better job of like myth making and making everything like an event in a way that we don't now. Like Mike
Coverage is
Tyson
more
was
pessimistic.
right. So I think it's just, and Michael Jordan's also very cool. He had an amazing, he had a great sneakers, like there's a lot of things working in his advantage that you're never going to get anywhere else. So, and like culturally, what he represents can't be like understated. Like LeBron's never going to have the cultural impact that Michael Jordan did, even close to it. So like there's so many things that like LeBron can't pass Michael Jordan in, but I don't think that like Michael Jordan's a better basketball player than like, LeBron or Kareem. I don't think that at all, really. But I think also when you're talking about the greatest of all time, you can't separate the myth making and how he made people feel like in that conversation, because it's such the conversation that's built around a lot of things that aren't just like strictly basketball related, I think. And that's where it's like, it's fine if you think Jordan's the best, but I think from a strictly basketball perspective, I don't think it's close.
Well, none of this is going to be relevant once Ty Jerome wins 6 in a row in Cleveland. So, it's worth having the discussion now, but the typhoon comes for everyone at the end of the day.
Does it?
Hey, man. You know what, Jackson? Just stay on that side, all right? Stay on that side. When the Ty Jerome statue's being built, I don't want you at the unveiling, all right? You can't come.
Well, assuming they build a statue, right?
Yeah. No, we'll make sure we get it done right. Cleveland understands. Well, we don't have any statues yet.
Don't have statues.
But we're going to get at least probably 2 LeBron ones.
Long way to go, brother. Long way to go.
Guardians have like 12 statues.
Yeah, dude, they have so many.
They do.
Yeah,
like,
real quick.
Jim Thome has a statue.
Before the second half starts, we got to get your take, cool guy, because you are a Celtics fan. If the Cavs and Celtics played in a playoff series right now, what's the result?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat what you just said?
Yeah.
Mike is sorry. Yeah.
It's all good. If the Cavs and Celtics played in the playoffs right now, what's the result? Is it, who wins and how many games?
Assuming everyone's healthy?
Yeah. We'll just assume Kristaps is there. Everyone's healthy for the Cavs and the Celtics.
Celtics in 6.
Okay. Hey, you know what? Honestly, that's probably what I would pick too. I think the Cavs have a legit chance, but I'd probably say Celtics 6 or 7. The thing is, if it goes to 7, anything can happen. So Celtics in 6, I think that's a very respectable pick, man.
I think the 7 thing will really, because I don't know what the conference is going to look like by the end of the year. I think the Celtics, whoever is in 7, I think the game 7 will be really important. Whoever finishes above, like whoever, I think that's going to be really important. But if the Cavs just went and got the first seed, I wouldn't be like, I don't think that's crazy to think about, to be honest with you. But I also just think that at that point, it'd just be the conference finals.
Yeah, man. Either way, I'm looking forward to it, and I hope that we do, both Boston and Cleveland. Looks like they're going to be the 1-2. Crazy things could happen, but it looks like it's going to be the 1-2. So I do hope that we meet you guys in the conference finals, and I hope that we get you back up on stage soon, man. We're gonna go ahead and move back for the second half, but thanks for sharing takes. I'm sure we'll get you back in here soon.
All right, thanks, cool guy. We really appreciate it.
No problem, man.
All right, I'm gonna go grab my phone real quick, grab a water. Jackson, hold on.
We're gonna see the wall.
You get to see the wall, and you might see Apollo too. I think you might be able to see it up.
I don't think we've ever seen Apollo.
This is his butt right here.
I see that. Dan, I'm glad you're here to witness this. This momentous occasion. The Cavs are doing more Cavs things right now. I think the question now is, how long is Kenny gonna keep the guys out there? Because this is becoming kind of a beatdown. Mobley stepping into a three-pointer file that under things you love to see. You just really like when Mobley is being assertive in that way, where he's confident to just dribble into a three. That's something that we've seen at times, and you'd like to see more, because that 41-point game feels like a long time ago, but Mobley has only played now two halves of basketball since that game. So you'd like to see him continue to build off of that. And then when Donovan Mitchell's hitting threes, like, there's just no way to defend him. So 14
I'm
to
hearing
27
Evan Mobley hit a three while I was gone.
Yeah, he walked into a three, took it up the court, said, "I'll just take this
I left
three.
at the wrong
Mind
time.
if I do?" Yeah.
You mind if we restart the stream from that point?
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah, they played very little basketball. Two of those games were against the Wizards and Nets too, so you could argue that they played even less basketball than that.
Yeah, it's been a while. The YouTube chat, I'm checking out. I went to grab my phone because I was interested in what the YouTube chat was going to say during that discussion. And Keith Williams says, Jackson with a take from the top rope, man. Wow. And then someone else drops a completely unrelated take, but it could be related if we're talking about all-time, greatest players ever, potentially. Says, yo, Luke Travers about to be AK-47, 5'5" candidate. His shot will be better and is sufficient. Already does everything else, grab and go, transition offense, steals, blocks. I agree, man. Luke Travers is going to be the first. Has there been is there an Australian NBA player in the Hall of Fame? Luke Travers will be the first one. Paulo is making
If Andrew Bogut would have survived the 2017 season, who knows?
Yeah, he lasted 5 seconds. All right,
Paulo. That Donovan keeps going to that move. There's nothing the Nets can do to stop that.
All right. It's a fun game when Apollo's in my lap. Clearly, there's some good ball being played. Yeah, 83-48. Second half's going to be a lot of fun, man. We're going to have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, Donovan's pulling a Steph right now.
Yeah. Man. Snatch back. Cam Johnson almost touches the floor. If only Julian Newman was tall.
I'm sure there is still discourse going around about ratings. I mean, I am in Vegas trying to figure out if the NBA Cup is a thing or not. So, I'm deep in that conversation right now.
I think the NBA Cup's a success, personally.
Well, I think there's a lot of metrics to describe success. What I will say is that
it's just fun basketball. I don't like being in Vegas. Agree, cool guy.
In Vegas right now. Well, yeah, that's because nobody in Vegas cares right now.
Yeah. So I mean, you're in Vegas. Why are you going to go see?
No,
how many? But there's way more interesting things to do.
I think the problem is, so for example, the Falcons are playing the Raiders right now, actually, right next to my hotel, in Monday Night Football, and there was hundreds. I was walking around last night, hundreds of people in Falcons gear just running around, doing Vegas things. There was zero people in Giannis jerseys or Thunder stuff. During that time.
Get hurt, man.
I think he's fine.
Hope so. You don't see him react like that very often. It's usually tough as nails.
So there's, so it's just kind of nobody in the city really cares about it, because it's mostly the people at the games aren't fans of the teams. It's mostly people who are oh, there's a basketball game in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm in Las Vegas. I'm going to go. Which means that you're going to get a very sterile crowd and just kind of not really that great of an event, from a viewing perspective. When you were at the Cavs game, do you remember ever hearing the sound of the shoes squeaking on the hardwood?
Not even in the dark eras did you really hear that very often. Even in the dark age, there were enough fans and noise to where you weren't hearing the the on-court action, unless you were like really close to the court.
So they have like the good media people, they have them close to the court. They have the second-rate media people, which I'd put myself in there, in like the top of like the first section, like the first bowl, the second bowl really. And like you can just hear all the squeaks. It's like, and it's not because there's not fans there. There's actually they don't need to dim the lights because there's a ton of fans there. Like I'd say it's about like 80% full, but like there's just no juice. Like people get louder for like a made three in the first quarter of like a Cavs game when everyone's still getting to their seats than for that like Giannis game-saving block that was like one of the most incredible plays you'll see. So
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Right. So
don't
that's where
let that
like,
distract you from the Isaac Okoro masterpiece that we're witnessing. But yeah, no, I agree with you. The plan is none of the fans are invested into any of the players or the teams because it's in a random location. I do agree. Cool Guy mentioned earlier, like that. I would still expand. Like if you're doing an NBA expansion, Vegas is a legit option. I think the main issue with the NBA Cup right now being in Vegas is that, as Jackson's saying, there's not that many Bucks fans or Hawks fans that are in Vegas watching this game. So like the Giannis rejection doesn't get as big of a reaction. You get people who like basketball and want to see a good basketball game, but it's different when it's random people watching a random basketball game versus I'm a Milwaukee Bucks super fan and Giannis just did something incredible.
Well, it's not an event down here. So like when I've gone to lots of Ubers and I'm like, well, like, hey, so like what brings you down here? And it's like, well, I'm covering the NBA Cup. And they're like, oh, what's that? So it's like, these Uber drivers, they're just taking people around 24/7. Like, and nobody, presumably I'm the first one to get in the car and say, like, the NBA Cup is why I'm here. And that just keeps happening. So it's like, it's not registering at all on like the Vegas scale of like, this is why people are here. Like, this is like a real event. So that's where it's like a problem. And also, like, it's during football season. Like, football's, like, I don't like whenever the ratings do come out, it's going to be like, the Panthers and Cowboys game got 10 times more views than like this game or like during like the final game. I mean, so like that's where it's like the product is great. Like it's basically the opposite of the All-Star game where everybody watches the All-Star game. It owns the weekend. Like I was in Indianapolis last year. Everybody was on the street wearing different jerseys. Like tons of people were there just for the event. It was a big deal, but the event sucked. This is like nobody cares about the event. The people watching don't really care, but the event has been awesome. So it's like a weird dichotomy. And it's also weird in comparison to like Christmas too, because the Christmas games, like I'm not really interested in any of these Christmas games for the most part. Like they're pushing the aging stars. The two teams with the best record aren't playing each other. We're gonna have to sit through like the Sixers and the Knicks and the Lakers. I mean, and the Suns. So it's like there's just a lot of weird things happening right now, and like the NBA Cup is almost like the opposite of that, which is good, but also at the same time, it's not making that cultural impact that like it should be making, considering how good it is.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, the most important thing is that the product is good. Like it's been really competitive games. Like the actual on-court stuff has been great. So I think they'll find a way for this to have cultural for people to be more invested in. It's only the second year that they've done it too. Like a lot of casual fans are still learning what the hell the NBA Cup even is. My mom was asking me like, how long have they been doing this? I've never even heard of this. I'm like, yeah, it's only the second year. So
well, and they like didn't have a name for it the first year.
Yeah, it was the in-season tournament. Yeah.
Right.
And I agree with Demo too. I think the broader issue as far as ratings go, not just talking specifically about the NBA Cup, but I think one of the main things is, dude, it's just too hard to watch an NBA game. It's really stupid. If you want to watch your favorite NBA team, you got to go through so many hoops and hassles and local blackouts, all these things, dude. Just give me one streaming service I can watch every NBA game I want. I will pay you a reasonable price. I guarantee the ratings go up.
Yeah, and it's also an issue with like the best, like the the most marketable people are LeBron, Steph, and KD still, and they
Yeah.
are
They're
not
still
relevant.
transitioning eras.
I mean, Steph is probably still relevant, so I don't want to. His team's still relevant to a degree, but it's not like that's kind of the issue. Is like they're not like the Suns aren't relevant in the NBA. The outcome of the season, the Lakers aren't going to be relevant. The Warriors probably aren't going to be relevant, but that's still what you're hanging your hat on, and it's just like unnecessary. So it's a. I think it's an. I think we're in a transition period in the same way that we were the post Jordan years.
Yeah.
Like before LeBron kind of really took over. And I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but I think there's going to be some issues. And I think the basketball is in like a great place, honestly. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
think,
agree.
I think the teams that we're seeing be really successful, like the Cavs, Thunder, even the Rockets, Celtics, I think they're all providing very kind of different styles and are entertaining in different ways. It's just sort of like that's not what's being pushed right now, and then you throw in the TV issues and all that stuff, and it's like that's how you're going to get like really bad Christmas Day ratings when they get killed by like the NFL games that are being played on Netflix.
Yeah, I think as far as like transitioning eras goes, there's so many great young stars in the NBA who could potentially take that torch. To me, the main thing is going to be, I've said this a couple times, it's a take that I've had for a while. I think parity is great, but at the same time, when you're having a new champion every year, you need a dynasty. That's just my opinion. I think you need a dynasty. Dynasties bring ratings. People love to hate watch. People love to see the
But
Golden State
how
Warriors.
many
Can anyone beat
the
them? Can anyone
Spurs
beat the Miami Heat, the Spurs,
the
like all these
Spurs
different teams?
no, the Spurs were winning championships at like the darkest time for the league between those eras, and nobody cared. So it's not about it's not about
Well,
winning a bunch.
The Spurs are a very exceptional dynasty in that like they never even won back to back. I mean, like you need a repeat. Like Boston wins again this year. I think that's good for the ratings.
I don't
I
think
think a team trying to
I
repeat is
don't think
very
that
good for
matters because
ratings.
nobody
I
the
do
Celtics
personally.
the Celtics don't have anybody interesting on the team, so nobody cares. That's the thing. Like people cared about LeBron, they cared about the Heat. People cared about Steph. That's kind
Yeah,
of the
well, the
difference.
reason
And
why
then when they're winning,
LeBron's the exception, but the reason why you cared about Steph is because the Golden State Warriors win the championship, then they win 73 games, and
it's because
you have to
Steph is
win
playing.
championships to become that caliber of player,
It's
unless you are
because
like LeBron James. And so if the Celtics win again, like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, people, I think that's
they
great
won't.
for the ratings.
No, they won't. They won't
I
care.
think having a
Nobody will
dynasty
care.
is very, very good. I know you're a Celtics hater. That's fair.
No, but honestly, like the reason like Steph played basketball a way that nobody has ever played basketball before him.
That's also true.
That's LeBron is one of one. We knew his story since high school. People cared, the decision, all that stuff. That's not really like replicable, you know. And
Yeah, I
now
mean,
with the way everybody sees themselves as brands and stuff like that, you just don't get that same authenticity for most guys. That's why guys like John Morant and Anthony Edwards really stand out, uh, because you have a lot of guys that are very cautious with how they approach media and what they say and like how they present themselves. That's I don't want to get into too much hating on the Celtics, but it's like I think you just get a lot of very generic, uninteresting people. And then you throw in on top of
ooh, I
that,
don't even think that was backcourt violation.
it was not. And then you throw on top of that, like you have your best players aren't American players, Giannis, Jokic. They're not going to people aren't going to catch on to them the same way that they do, somebody who has come up through the American system. So they're just in kind of a weird spot right now. And I don't think that like the parity is an issue with it. I think it's more so just a lack of like unique personalities that are head and shoulders above everybody else. Because there are people who are like Jokic is head and shoulders above everybody else. Luka, I think, is you know a phenomenal player, but they're just not registering the same way.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean, though. When we say we're transitioning eras, the reason why we're still in this weird limbo is because nobody has claimed this era. We thought maybe Giannis was going to after 2021. Then we thought Jokic was about to. And we're still just in this weird, there's so many teams that can win the championship this year. And that's great for parity. It's great for a lot of different franchises. But if you want something to define the era, we haven't had a repeat champion in like 5 years. We haven't had even a star win like their second or multiple championships since Steph in 2022. It's like it's been so long since we've had any of these familiar names define a season or an era. And so I think that stuff matters. And like if parity defines the era, as Danny's saying, I think that's fine and that's good. But I just think it's not going to be as far as ratings go, the popularity of the league. I really do think having a team like the Golden State Warriors emerge and just dominate post 2015, having the LeBron Miami Heat, the Lakers with Shaq and Kobe, like these dynasties, whether it's the Bulls, you go back as far as you want, the repeat champions, the familiar faces, that's where you start to build real popularity, where you penetrate like that common casual viewer who doesn't really keep up with the NBA all that well, but okay, you know Stephen Curry and the Golden State Warriors, the dynasties. They're always
Right,
going
but
to
those are
become household names. And right now the NBA doesn't have many household names because no one has defined and claimed this era yet.
well, I think, but it's also those are really unique people,
Yeah,
like
if you're gonna define an era, you got to be unique.
like the like baseball has been looking for the next Ken Griffey Jr. for like 2 decades now. And it wasn't because Ken Griffey Jr. won a lot, it was because he was different and he made people feel stuff when they watched him do incredible things on the field. Like you just may not like you can't just manufacture another Ken Griffey Jr. You can't manufacture another Steph Curry or like LeBron.
Yeah, it's not gonna be those guys, but when you look, you go down that list, they're all unique. You need a unique player and a unique dynasty to take over this era, or else the casual fans aren't going to care that much because it's like, why the hell would I care that the Boston Celtics won this year, the Nuggets won last year, if it's just a random team each year and there's no one dominating?
The Celtics could win the next 4 years in a row. Nobody would. I don't think people wouldn't hate watch them. They would probably just be indifferent because they don't feel anything when you watch the Celtics. That's the whole thing.
Is, I think when you have a repeat champion, you have a team trying to go back to back or even three-peating, that gets the general casual fan to be like, oh, let me see what's going on. This team's like actually historically good. I'm interested in this. Let me check it out. When it's like, it's two teams and players that I don't even know or never heard of. If the Celtics go back to back and they're going for a three-peat and next season, I think a lot of casual fans are going to tune into that finals and see like, can they do it? And or can someone finally stop them? The David versus Goliath to me is my favorite narrative in the NBA, and I think that's like what drives the best ratings, the best seasons. Cavs versus Warriors, Mavs versus Heat in 2011. Like I think that stuff's amazing.
Yeah, well, we'll agree to disagree because it's not. I mean, Goliath has to be interesting. Goliath can't be a nameless.
I think your Celtics hatred. I think it's a little. I think it's a little Celtics hate.
But like, has anybody ever booed Jason Tatum? Like because they care? Like nobody cares. Like nobody cares. Like that's the whole thing. Like
I don't know.
You have to care. And they don't make you feel anything in the same way that Steph did. So it's fine. Like the Celtics are very good. And honestly, if you're trying to build a good basketball team,
it doesn't have to be the Celtics, by the way. It could be any team that rises up.
It's the same thing with the Thunder. The Thunder, I don't know if they're
we'll have to wait and see if anyone can do it. Maybe neither of those teams can win back to back, and then that's why we're in this weird era.
Again, it's not about winning back to backs. It's about
that's
having
the point that I'm
people
making.
Who right. And I'm fundamentally disagreeing with that point. It's about you have to have unique personalities that really make people care. And I think you saw that with Anthony Edwards last year, where people cared about Timberwolves games in a way that they probably,
I think more people care about the Celtics than you're giving them credit for.
I don't think anybody cares. That's like I can
tell you right now, none of us care about this game that's going on.
It's a 30-point game.
I know. Hey, they cut it down to 24, man.
It's fine. Yeah, people hate Tatum. I hate Tatum, but I don't. But like, for example, It's more so I hate that Tatum's so boring and nondescript and cheesy and corny, as opposed to like I hate Steph because he's so good at basketball, or I hate the Lakers
Okay, but
because they just can't keep
if
winning.
Jason Tatum and the Celtics win 2 more in a row, you're not going to be like, I hate them because they're so good. You're still just going to be like, I hate them and they're boring.
Yeah. I mean, they're
Okay.
not
Well,
interesting. There's
that's
nothing
fair enough.
interesting
That's fair enough.
about them. Like, was there
I
something
think
interesting about Shaq and
how
Kobe?
many teams have
Yeah.
three-peated in NBA history? Like, not many.
Right, not many. Yeah, but like, again, the Spurs, they won so much, and I know they didn't repeat, but they still won a lot, and nobody cared about Tim Duncan.
Did nobody care about Tim Duncan, or was he just kind of like
nobody
a quiet?
cared about
He was just like a quiet Hall of Famer. But
I mean,
people love
nobody
the
cared about Tim
Spurs.
Duncan.
I think this is I don't.
I mean,
I don't like that.
So, like, have you come across anybody in real life that said, "I like basketball because Tim Duncan"?
But that's a completely different thing. But there's so many people
Duncan.
who love those Spurs teams. They're like,
yeah, they're all like Spurs fans.
I don't think so. I love those Spurs teams. I didn't even like them when they were playing.
I don't.
Demo says he loves basketball because of Evan Turner. I love basketball because of Marco Bellinelli, showing me that
Evan Turner was great in college basketball. Evan Turner was,
Is Marco Bellinelli Italian? Am I remembering that correctly? Yeah, see, he is. That's why I love the Spurs. He showed me that an Italian kid can grow up and be on a dynasty.
All right. Well,
but no,
now you're
the Spurs. People cared about the Spurs. They didn't care about them as much as the Lakers.
I don't think people cared that much about the Spurs.
I mean, dude, Tim Duncan. My mom loved Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili. Like that was a really fun, deep team. That they're not as flashy.
Yeah, it was a fun.
It was a lot of people team. Cared about the Spurs.
It was a fun team. I don't think anybody was like, man, I just can't. I just hate the Spurs so much. I'm just gonna hate watching them. It's like, I think it was just kind of like,
but that's a different. That's a different metric. It did bring a lot of international viewers. That's also a different metric, but
that's what you're talking about.
I'm talking about. But there were so many just casual fans who didn't even really watch basketball that much who knew, wow, San Antonio Spurs. They've been good for a really long time. They play team basketball, all that. Like you need,
you can know that, but you don't care.
I think people did care though. I at least just from my own personal experience, I know people who didn't even really care much about basketball. Who's like, oh, the Spurs are in the finals. I'll check that out because I know that they're a dynasty.
The Spurs were most interesting when they were as like a foil to the Heat because they were the exact opposite of what the Heat were. Well, yeah, but that's more the Heat though. Like the Heat were interesting no matter who they were.
Also a dynasty. I think people cared when I mean, this wasn't the finals, but like. Spurs versus Lakers.
Yeah, I think the most interesting time for the Heat was before they even won anything when they lost to the Mavericks. Like they weren't a dynasty then. So, anyways, it's fine.
No,
you just need interesting. Like, it's not about who it's not about the amount that you win. It's about how you go about doing it. And I don't think that you can just replicate things like, the Warriors or the Heat or the Shaq and Kobe Lakers.
Yeah, it's always going to be unique. But there has to be a sell for the casual fan. There has to be a team that is transcending the sport. And right now, we don't have one.
Right. And I think transcending the sport, you have to transcend the sport in a way that is interesting, I think. I don't think you can transcend the sport without being interesting, honestly. Like I think those are just inherent. So we'll see if anyone manages to do it. No one's done it in the last 5 years. Jokic was, kind of getting there. Giannis was doing it for a little while, but no one has sustained that. Well, yeah, because winning is hard.
Exactly.
That's kind of the whole thing. But it's more than winning, but it's fine. I think we've covered the topic.
Demo said his whole point is I don't think you can even get an idea of NBA ratings because of how many people just watch illegal streams, and I agree with that entirely. Accessibility is still probably the biggest thing. Cool Guy also says he really wants to argue with Jackson.
I mean, he already did, kind of. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, the
will unite the
accessibilities.
nations.
I think one of the big issues with the NBA that they're facing is that they've been more of a in a way they've prioritized like being a national fan more than being a local fan, in the sense of like, I'm a LeBron fan, I'm a Steph fan, I'm a Kobe fan. Like, think like there were so many people like that, but as we kind of talked about, that's not really like something that is the case anymore. Like, you don't, like, obviously I don't know what kids in school are doing, but like, when I was in high school, there'd be people who are like, yeah, I'm, a fan of player X. Like, I don't think anyone's like a Luka fan, or at least not to the level that people were like Kobe fans, or like, you know what I mean? So, and I think because of that, they haven't prioritized like the local market in a way that like baseball has, which is like a hyper local sport. And I think that's one of the issues that the NBA is facing, is like, oh, now we're a more localized kind of league with every team having more parity and a better chance. And now we can't, like, people aren't able to watch their local teams the way that they need to. So there's a lot of issues facing the league right now, I think. And that's one of them.
Whoa. It's a poorly timed lob right there.
I mean, it was a good thought process. That's,
Yeah.
you'd like to see them
Just
do
timed
that.
it really poorly. Oh, a little windmill pass. He got fouled, so I won't make fun of him. But hitting the bottom of the backboard on a layup, so always looks
those
fun.
are the worst fouls, when like, the offensive player didn't really have a chance and you were in a good position. But
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't gonna make a
I don't think
reverse
Sam
layup
Merrill will
there.
go in reverse.
So at least not with the help defense there. So that's always frustrating. Yeah, the marketing statement, but also like, before, you could just put something on ESPN and say this matters and people would care. You can't do that anymore. Like, you have to penetrate like you know the culture. You have to There's like a much higher threshold. You can't even, like, you're finding out you can't even put like, a really good, like, like superhero movies are having this problem. Big franchises are having this problem. Like, you can't just say this is a Marvel movie, everybody go see it. You have to actually, like, it has to be a higher threshold than that. And that's where I think kind of the NBA is reinventing itself a little bit, or will have to reinvent itself. The only sport that right now can just do whatever they want is the NFL. So it's just kind of a weird spot for really all media type things right now.
Yeah, this game's been over for a while. Cleveland
Yeah,
Cavaliers. This thing was over first quarter.
I do appreciate you, Cleveland Cavaliers, for pointing that out.
Final nail in the coffin.
There's been many nails in the coffin. Karis LeVert really, really did him in there.
The gravedigger tonight. Got one more quarter to go here. See, is Brooklyn going to score 100?
Yes, they will.
All they got to do is get 23.
Yeah, they'll score 100. That's the thing, is like, this is the type of blowout that's going to end up being like, the final score is going to be like 12 points, and you're like, it was never that close.
Yeah.
So I feel like the biggest blowouts are the ones where the score isn't that different, where as opposed to like like that game against the game against the Bulls in the in-season tournament. The Cavs won by like 20, but it was like a 6-point game with like 2 minutes left. Like I feel like
We're on
that's
like a 16-2 run or something.
right.
Crazy.
Like that's always like those late surges are usually what leads to like a lot of those like really big scores. I feel like this is going to be like a 12-point game at the end.
Detroit versus Chicago is in overtime. I guess technically we could switch over to another game, but
We could switch over. I don't.
Mike said he's doing the. Oh, you just replied. Yeah, Mike's gonna do the recap for Fear of the Sword. Do you want to split the grades tonight?
Not really, because I have to write my SB Nation.
Oh yeah, you're in Vegas. Never mind, you're in Vegas. I forgot you're in Vegas. Do your thing. I got the grades.
Yeah, I'm trying to write that all out. It's which is why all this stuff is on my mind, because I'm like thinking through that.
But yeah, we could switch over if anybody wants to. I'll see if the chat is interested in it. Normally, I would say let's stay for the garbage time and see like JT Thor and some of the other guys, but I don't know.
No,
JT Thor.
I would. I'd vote to stay here. Just
okay.
Unless we
That's
can.
Fine.
Unless we see it's like the last minute, if we wanted to like switch over then for like a little bit, kind of like we do at like halftime. But I'd probably recommend.
Yeah, there's no, they just started overtime, so maybe we'll jump over there if it's still close, like a minute left. Yeah, that works for me.
Why don't we jump over during commercials? I guess we could jump over now.
Okay. You want to do now? They might be about to come back already. I think they're about to come back. Next commercial.
Yeah, and then just kind of see, check in then. Because it is. We are a Cavs.
We are a Cavs blog.
We are a Cavs blog. So
yeah.
Even though we haven't talked about the Cavs since like the first quarter.
Hey man, sometimes you have games like this, and it's a good thing to have because again, don't take stuff like this for granted, Cavs fans. It is not normal. I know Brooklyn sucks, so I'm not gonna act like it's the greatest team of all time, but don't take winning by 30 points for granted. Because remember, we used to be on the opposite end of this a lot when we were in Brooklyn's situation.
Yeah, one of the things I have been impressed with the Cavs' level of execution on the defensive end, which is something that I think really stood out to me watching like the Thunder and Rockets. The defense is going to stand out, but even the defense in like the Hawks and Bucks game, I thought the Hawks were just doing a phenomenal job of having like defensive rotations and really like doubling and recovering and just like playing a level of defense that you need to win in the playoffs. And I don't think that we've seen that consistently from the Cavs this year. And I think a lot of that kind of comes to they're just doing a lot of switching to get ready for the playoffs. And I don't think that's like if you wanted to have the best defensive game possible, I don't think that's what you do for the Cavs right now. So I understand that, but like I think it's good that we're seeing this kind of defensive effort from them. And it's good that we see Sam Merrill hit a shot.
Very good. Very good. Danny says Trae Young's playing the best D of his career and that he's actually playing D. He played good defense against Milwaukee. A lot of it's effort, He's putting in a lot more effort than he ever had. I've been impressed with him.
One of the things that he got in like a mismatch and then somebody came to help and he had to like sprint all the way to like the opposite corner to like recover, and he did like before the pass got there. And it's just like things like that just make such a huge difference. Like if you're a bad defender, having that willingness to like do things like that, allows you to stay on the court. And I think that's something that like you see Sam Merrill do that a lot, because Sam Merrill, as much as coaches like to say that he competes on the defensive end, he's not a good defender. But he does those things where he's not a problem on defense. So, and I think that's one of the things that I really liked.
Thank you to everyone who's tuned in and sticking around through this blowout. If you have any fun questions, feel free to add them in the chat. It's one of those interesting games where, there's just not much to break down. The Cavs came out, jumped on the Nets. I mean, to be fair, they went down, 0-7 to start. They got jumped on to start. Then they flipped the script pretty quickly. Caris LeVert has been out of his mind on defense, steals, blocks, running in transition, hitting pull-up threes, doing it all. It's just been an all-around beatdown. So there hasn't been much to break down. The Nets are really struggling for some talent right now.
I can flip over now.
Oh, yeah, go for it. Let's see what's going on with JB.
Oh.
Uh-oh. It's getting away from him.
Hey. I never like it when both teams
there
are
he
wearing
is.
They're like colored uniforms. I just wish the home team wore a white.
Yeah.
Is that too much to ask for?
One of my friends was on that train like 8 years ago. He would really get annoyed about it, and I personally just never cared. But now I do care. Now I'm starting to care a little bit. I wish they wore white more often at home. Because what is this? They're both wearing, that's like a dark red and a dark blue. Someone has to be wearing white here.
Yeah. And like the Lakers just wear their yellow jerseys like constantly now. I don't like it.
My eyes are getting older. Listen, it's got nothing to do with that. I just it is interesting. For whatever reason, the NBA just gave up on that. But
or I think even if they wanted to switch it, like the home team wears the colored uniforms, that's fine. Just do something consistent.
Yeah.
I just
there's
don't
no
like
consistency.
That. Right. Like, and it used to be, well, that's why the away jerseys say the city, because that's like you're away, and the home team says the name of the name of the team. It just doesn't make sense.
I honestly have never made that connection.
Really?
You're the first person who ever pointed that out to me. I never made that connection.
Yeah, that's what the away jersey is supposed to be telling you. So like, yeah,
I just literally never thought about it more than 2 seconds. So, but yeah, I love the Cavs uniforms, Danny. I think they've done a great job the last few years with them. And also, yeah, the Pistons have been pretty competitive this year. JP hasn't played good ball. They're not going to, best case scenario still is being a play-in team, which we'll see what happens. But JP's done a good job with them. A nice little spin move from Duncan right there. All right, I think Duncan might have just put him away.
I'd kill for like a Duncan Robinson on the Cavs.
When we have Max Strus.
No,
we have Duncan at home.
Duncan Robinson is, more of that pure shooter type than Max Strus is.
Yeah,
Max Strus may honestly is probably better for the Cavs than Duncan Robinson would be.
I think Max Strus is the better player, but I get what you mean.
Yeah,
we don't Duncan Robinson is a straight dead eye.
I just love that archetype so much, like the Kevin Herters,
the Sam,
the guys that are the Sam Merrills. Yeah,
Tim Hardaway. I was just about to switch back to the Cavs, and Tim Hardaway said, making his dad proud. We are going to switch back to the Cavs since the timeout, though. All right, just in time for the Ben Simmons possession. Hell yeah, great take.
Surprise Donovan.
Take right there.
I guess not. They always keep people in longer than I think they should. But 30 points, that's a lot. Yeah,
it's quite a lot of points. Especially when Ty Jerome's out there, you had no chance of coming back.
Like if the Cavs held the ball for every possession and didn't attempt another shot,
they'd win.
Yeah.
They don't even have to hold the ball. They just threw up a half-court shot.
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know, man. This Brooklyn team.
Good pass. Great possession from Evan Mobley there. He saw the double, passed it out to the open guy, and then as soon as he made the pass, he relocated. We've talked about how good his relocation game is. At least we have in the past. I don't think we brought it up recently.
Are they running the zone with Mobley at top, by the way, or did he just switch right there? I wasn't really locked in. They might have been trying that zone we were talking about. He might have just switched though.
He's been on Simmons a lot, so
Yeah.
that's made him play up top more.
Let's see. Well, Simmons is bringing it up. It kind of looks like they're in that zone.
Yeah, but I don't know. They
It's
seem
hard
to
to
have
tell
guys.
off that possession.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just when he's guarding more ball handlers, he's going to be up top more. But see, look, the pass,
Yeah,
then the relocate, that's really good stuff.
it's a great cut. So Jackson, if you had to guess, do the Cavs make a trade this year? You don't have to tell me if it's a big trade, little trade, just do you think they make any trade at all?
I think they try to. I think it's very
do
hard
they
to make a trade.
actually pull it off? Either big trade, little trade, anything.
I think it almost has to be a big trade if they make one, because it's
Okay.
almost harder to make a little one, because it's always like we've talked about it a million times. Well, if you're going to trade away Karis LeVert, you need to get a better version of Karis LeVert, and the other team has to want Karis LeVert, who's presumably a worse version of the guy that you're trading for. So,
at this point, I'm all in on keeping LeVert. I've completely flip-flopped.
Yeah, I am too, and that's I think you could convince me. I've been in and out on Jared Allen multiple times within the last 12 months. So did Jerome get that?
Kenny up by 30 gets a tech. Yeah. I think it was Kenny.
See, this is what I'm saying. He's more on edge when things are going right. I think he's somebody who likes to point out where things could go wrong. Remember, there'd be some games, a game like this, he'd be like, well, we shot way above our expected from 3, so you can't expect this every night. And it's all right, Kenny, we know how basketball works. Like a team that hits 5 home runs. Oh, you can't expect to hit 5 home runs every night. Yeah, obviously. But, the good teams do it more often than the bad teams.
Beautiful defense right there, man. Defense. That was unbelievable all around. Dean Wade with a great rejection too, but man, see that those are the ones that hurt.
Yeah,
those are the ones that just backbreakers.
But yeah, so I'd probably say no. I think they're going to try to make a trade, but it's tough.
Yeah, I put you on the spot with that question. I don't even know if I could pick yes or no.
Because it's
so impossible.
Well, and they're also up against the cap, so they have to, or they're just over the luxury tax threshold right now, which they could get under if they just cut Sam Merrill or Craig Porter Jr. I believe they could if they could cut Craig Porter Jr. I'm not sure, but so they could get under if they wanted to, and they would need to by the end of the year. But it's also so you have to have that consideration, and then they have. I think they have 2 second-round picks this year. I think they have 5 second-round picks in the next 3 years that they could trade. So you can trade that, but you're almost
Pistons took the lead, by the way. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But yeah, so
let's switch over.
Tough.
There's 20 seconds left on that.
Yeah, we can switch over.
Yeah. Pistons managed to storm back, take the lead.
And they don't have Kevin Love in the game.
Whoa. 35, 18, 9, and 4. He is trying to. This is a pump and dump, ladies and gentlemen. This is a pump and dump. We're witnessing it. Don't fall for it. Some team is going to. I actually really like Jimmy Butler, but yeah, this is I want to be traded out of Miami ASAP. Please look at my box score game from him.
Listen, Miami's not for everybody, Too hot. You're in Florida. Who wants to
Florida
be there?
Does suck. The weather in Florida is unbearable, and I'm an avid summer enjoyer. The humidity is awful.
Yeah, they don't have summer in Florida. That's something else.
Have hell.
Oh my!
Oh man, the John Blair special. Even though that really wasn't any issue with with the inbounds play. It was just a horrible pass.
I don't know. He just has his arms folded. Just so many games last year, they either went to overtime or they almost lost because they just messed something up in like an ATO.
Yeah. It's a real issue. As someone who I think JB's a solid coach, and this really isn't. That's not his fault. Like that's not JB.
Well,
so
I think
him. I mean, that's the pass you got to be able to make.
I think that was an issue with. I can't tell who the pass was supposed to go to, but I'm assuming he's like JB probably said in the huddle, you can go into the backcourt. If you get pressure, go into the backcourt. And the guy receiving the pass,
I see. I agree with what you're saying, but still, you got to just throw it.
You got to execute that better. Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was running along the half court line like he couldn't go into the backcourt.
Yeah.
So you're right. If he just takes, again, that's kind of just the miscommunication because they weren't on the same page there.
Mm.
So, and that seems like that's what's happened a lot for the Cavs when they were in these situations last year. But that was a bad pass.
Yeah. No, it's a good point that you made too, though. It's a miscommunication, bad execution, and this is I would be more than willing to give him a complete pass, but it happens so too often with JB teams. Yeah. Call it who wins it. I'm saying it's a putback at the buzzer by Jimmy Butler.
The Pistons are going to win it. These last second situations are tough.
Tyler Hero's going to miss a jumper. Jimmy Butler's going to put it back in at the buzzer.
They're going to attempt something quickly, and then if they do, the Pistons could still go down there and win it themselves. So just a numbers game. You like the Pistons?
Whoa.
Call the foul?
Ooh, I don't know about that.
That's tough.
I'd like to see the replay.
You hate foul calls in those situations.
Didn't look like a hard foul to me. Okay, it's on the ground. No, they're not in the bonus. So, did they intentionally foul him then?
No, it would have to be a loose ball foul. Doesn't result in free throws, right?
Let's see what happens here. All right.
Okay.
Could be my prediction. Not going to be enough time left.
That's yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to happen for a second. Jimmy was there, but that's not really the look you want down one. But hey, JB gets another dub. Coaching the Pistons.
He said it couldn't be done. I mean, JB has Eric Spoelstra's number. Somebody needs to go.
True. He's 2-0 against him, right?
Reference pages.
Huh?
I don't think do. Coaches have basketball reference pages?
They do. It's not very in depth, but they do have a basketball reference.
Right. Page. Someone needs to go and put
The Pistons are 11-16 now. I think they're about to move all the way up to 10th in the conference. They might be tied for 9th now. I don't know who else played today. But hey, man, Jackson, we lost Jackson. He's got the Wi-Fi symbol, but look, JB, he knows how to establish a culture. There's some talent on Detroit. They're clearly, like I said earlier, not a playoff team. That would be like a real surprise, but they could be in the play-in pretty easily. So I'm happy to see JB land on his feet. He's not a perfect coach by any means, but he's definitely not the worst in the league. He really does understand how to maximize young talent, or at least get them to a certain baseline. I have a lot of questions for Monty Williams too. I don't know what was going on there. He just lost all interest, I guess. I don't even know. Yeah, his rotations. I mean, there were so many issues. I know Pistons fans were fed up. The George Niang spin move. Put him in a blender. $17-9. Has George Niang ever had a double-double? Be interested to find out. See if I can find this. The thing is, George doesn't rebound very often. Oh, well, he's checking out, so I guess he's not going to get it. But let's see. I'm going to try and find a Basketball Reference. His career high in rebounds is 10, so that means it's possible. I wasn't sure if he's ever gotten 10 in a game, honestly. So that's why I was curious. I'm not going to look through all of his game logs, but you can't trust Google nowadays. Let's see if I can solve this with a simple Google search. If I can't, then we'll never know. Did it at Iowa State? It says he has one. The Google AI says Niang came up 2 rebounds short of his first double-double in the 2024 season. But then it doesn't say. The NBA.com says he has 1 career double-double. So he must have got it somewhere. Cleveland Cavaliers, you can't see the game. Let me see. I'm just going to try refreshing this for you. Hopefully that works for you. If not, there's 4 minutes left. We're down to the wire here, so Cavs are up 123 to 88. Nice. Sam with the air ball. We're only up 35. It's a real nail biter, man. I don't know. Who do you guys think's going to win this one? Jackson's here to find out.
Tony, I like that you're asking the tough questions.
People want to know. How many times have we held teams under 100 this season? That's a very good question. Let me see. I'm sure I can find that out.
Not many.
Yeah, it's not as many as you would think. But scoring in the NBA is just at such an insane rate.
It's actually offensive ratings are down for the last 3 years.
But it's still like teams are averaging like 115 points per game.
Yeah, that's probably more so because of the possessions.
So the last time we held a team under 100 was against the Wizards. Of course, doesn't say the date, but not the most
game
recent
of the year. Oh yeah.
I'm clicking to find the date now. That was the NBA Cup game. Not seeing the date.
Myles Garrett bobblehead night.
December 3rd. So that was the last time they did it. In total, they've held teams under 100. Let's see, 1. I'm only seeing. Have they only done it once before tonight? It's possible. Sorry, ESPN didn't show me all the game logs. I had to click. So he did it against Washington.
I thought they did it some.
That's it. That's all I'm seeing. They've done it once. So this will be the second time if they do it. Unless I'm dumb, but I'm not seeing any other. They held Brooklyn to 100 the last time they played, but they haven't held anyone else under 100. They held New Orleans to 100.
Right, because they won that game by scoring under 100.
Yeah. Or sorry, they didn't hold Atlanta to 101. We had 101 against Atlanta.
Yeah.
Just to clarify. Atlanta actually had 135 in one of their games, 117 in that game that I just mentioned.
If they didn't, they would be here with me right now instead of, the Bucks.
Yeah, I can't believe there's still 3.5 minutes left.
One thing I want to say, the Humongotron, as it's aptly named in the field house, is so big, it makes every other scoreboard like hard to even like take seriously. Like, you don't have a screen that's like 500 by 500. Get out of here.
You're talking about Rocket Mortgage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our Jumbotron is insane.
Ooh, JT Thor. It's a nice move.
I remember being in awe the first time I saw that Jumbotron when they added it. Our old one was tiny. It had charm.
Yeah, the one. Well, yeah, it had charm because of the
swords coming out of each corner. It's always added charm to it. Sign JT Thor as the backup big. I'd like to see him get more opportunities. I don't think he's played has he played any meaningful minutes yet?
No, I mean he is currently on the roster, so I wouldn't say they need to sign him.
Yeah, well, he's on a two-way.
Yeah, just can't play in the playoffs. But they also have a spot where they could sign somebody else, but then that would take them more over the threshold. So they're in a tough spot. But yeah, I mean if you have to give JT Thor playoff minutes, then I think you've already lost.
Well, they're going to need a backup big. They're going to need someone who can play backup 4, backup 5. And you hope that'll be Wade. But if he's injured, which he very well could be, hopefully they're going to have an option other than George.
It's also like you get in a series like you were last year where Allen and Wade were injured, and it's like, well, at that point, you've already lost.
Well, that's not necessary. They managed to beat Orlando like that. I don't know. Either way, I think they should look to try and get a backup big. I think that's their biggest gap.
You'd like to, yes, but it's. I
get what you're saying though.
We've gone over this a bunch. The backup center position is like by far the like shallowest position in the NBA.
Yeah. But yeah, I would like JT Thor's gotten garbage minutes every once in a while, but has he played like a meaningful game yet? I can't remember.
I don't know. I mean, like Luke Travers has, but that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't played anything meaningful. He's hardly played any. Oh, is Brad going to say something about his Bucks take?
Let's hear it.
His Hawks take, I mean.
Here it comes. That's the best. See, from here on out, anytime I have a bad take and I'm confronted with it, I'm just going to say, I didn't mean that. He's good. Well, I didn't mean that. That's perfect. That's the perfect way to avoid accountability on a take.
That's good. Yeah, I don't know. I can't do that. I have to like go down with the ship. So
he was so quick.
Or just flip and say I'm wrong.
Just to clarify for everyone listening, Brad, like a week ago, was talking like the Atlanta Hawks were the dynasty that I've been waiting for. Like they're gonna win the NBA Cup. It's not even close. They're the best team in basketball. All this, and he's just like, "Oh, I didn't mean any of that." He didn't call them the best team in basketball. He was very confident.
He acted like they were the best team. Everything that he was saying made it seem like they were the best team in basketball, and it's just because he only watches gas games, which is like where he said that, Kyrie Irving and Darius Garland are the best point guards in basketball right now.
Unbelievable.
Comes from a similar place.
I'll take Jared Allen over any center in the NBA today.
Yes. So, that's when you're only watching one team, you can say that.
Yeah, I mean Jared did pretty good against Jokic, so he's like, you know what? Give me Jared Allen. Ben Simmons it's not even funny at this point. It's almost kind of sad how horrified he is of attempting a layup Like,
Was it
just
somebody?
go up, man. Why are you throwing a 360
somebody-
pass to the corner?
Was somebody in here talking about why the Cavs should get Ben Simmons, or was that somewhere else?
That was Mikey
Or was that just
McNuggets.
you?
No,
Oh,
Mikey
Mikey,
McNuggets
okay.
asked it on the pod
Okay.
when I did it with him. And to be fair, he wasn't like saying that they should do it. He was just asking in general, like, what would
I'm
you
going
think?
to. Was he at the Cavs game you were at?
No, there was literally no one at that game. It was basically just me. Danny Cunningham was there, and Ethan was there, but I didn't even really get a chance to talk.
Did Ethan say hi to you?
He did. I got to say hi to him. This is the first time I met him, but then Kenny Atkinson walked in like 2 seconds later, so I didn't really get to talk to him. And then they got up and left so quick to go to the locker room, and I didn't know if I had access to the locker room. Everyone left so quickly, so I didn't get to reconnect with them.
You're supposed to stay, because then they would come get you.
Who would come get me?
So, the Cavs PR.
Oh, well, everyone left very quickly.
Yeah, that's what they do. And then the Cavs PR person probably would have came and got you in like a minute or so. But
Tony was just wandering around. Dude, they don't Jackson thankfully gave me a rundown of what to expect, because they don't tell you shit when you show up to a Cavs game for your first time.
That's why
I didn't know anything.
Yeah, that's why I called you, because nobody told me anything.
Yeah. Well, Jackson, I'll share this story, and then we can wrap. Well, no, you mentioned that I most likely wouldn't have locker room access, and I didn't have the full media tier 1 access or whatever, so I just kind of assumed. But so here's I'll give you this quick story before we get out of here. So you mentioned that I would most likely be at table 6, which is the second to last table, right?
Yeah.
So I walk in, and I'm assuming that I'm probably the second to last. So I walk all the way up or whatever, and it's not numbered. It's like I was looking for
not numbered.
They're not numbered. So I go all the way up to the second to last, and there's these two older people sitting down. They're having a conversation. So I didn't want to ask them to get up and then walk into the row to see if my name was there or not. So I asked. There was this girl in the top row by herself, not talking to anybody. So I just asked her real quick. I was like, "Hey, excuse me, do you know if that's table 6 or not?" She goes, first off, I don't think she was trying to be mean. She's like, "Well, so they're numbered starting from 1." And I'm like, "Thanks." I would have never guessed that. But she's like, "I'm in table 9, I think." So I'm like, 9? Shit, okay, whoa. So I must be 3 rows too high. So I go all the way down 3 rows, and I'm looking around. I'm like, this is so 3 rows down is the really small table. You know what I'm talking about, Jackson? There's only chairs there. I'm like, this is definitely not mine. So then I'm literally at this point, I have gone up and down the stairs twice. I clearly lost. There's someone who I think he's a producer for the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. He looked at me a couple times, and so I looked at him, and I was like, okay, hopefully he either knows who I am or he'll help me out or something. So I came up to him. I'm like, "Hey, I'm Tony. How you doing?" Man, didn't he said hi, but he didn't tell me his name. He did not seem very he was not feeling it. So I was like, "I'm gonna be real with you. I'm lost. You know where table 6 is?" He's like, "It's the second to last one." So I ended up sitting right in front of the girl who told me she was in table 9, and I'm like, I didn't say it, but I wanted to be just so you know, you're not in table 9, because I don't know how it would go from 6 to 9. But
there are table layouts on the
I saw that.
there's a little printout of the thing.
Yeah, I ended up finding that. The other thing that was confusing is that it said I was supposed to be sitting next to Evan Damerol. He wasn't there. So I'm looking everywhere. I'm like, if I could just find him, I know where I'm sitting. But yeah, unfortunately
he hasn't come.
Oh, you cut out a little bit. But now I hear you again. Yeah.
I was gonna say he hasn't been faithful in attending.
Yeah, that was the other thing. There was no one next to me. There was 4 empty seats on both sides of me. They give you an assigned seat, obviously. So I'm just sitting there alone watching the Cavs. But it was still an awesome experience. But yeah, there's no one there to help you with your seat. Should I have stolen the sticker? I thought about it.
You should have.
I decided to be too cool, and I didn't take it. I should have taken it.
Well, next time steal the sticker. But yeah, I was gonna say that was why doesn't why does Tony not have any quotes from players? But that makes sense that you were just I guess they're done.
I was already if this is a confessional, the same girl who
Yeah.
gave me like the kind of rude response was also there, and I was like, I don't want to start asking if I have locker room access, and they're like, no, sorry, you don't. I'm like, I've already been embarrassed enough. I'm just gonna head
Yeah.
out, guys. So, but no, it's still awesome. I got to ask Kenny the question right at the end, and yeah, it was pretty cool. I figured I didn't have access
Yeah.
anyways, so I was like, I'll
Well,
just take my
next
L.
Yeah. Well, they would have. Yeah. So always stay because I don't have access either. But they usually, if it's a game like that, they'll let you in. So they
That's
would have
sweet.
come back to let you in. But
Okay.
so yeah, next time, stay put, stand down,
someone
just
will
hang
rescue
out there.
me. Yeah.
Someone,
Well,
someone will come find you.
There was a couple other people. They were much older, and they were like, "Oh, so like no players coming out? They should have told us that or whatever." And then they like packed up and they went to the exit. So I was like, "I'm just gonna follow them, I guess." But yeah, no, it's still awesome. And everyone who stayed for this stream to hear my ramblings and my experience there, I appreciate it. You get to see, as Jackson said in a text message, life as a blogger, you got to embrace the awkwardness because, like,
you
they
gotta
don't tell you
there.
nothing.
You got to get there earlier, Tony. Come on.
Yeah, I know.
You were late.
I wasn't too late. I got there before game time.
I told you to go to 4:30.
I know. Well, I couldn't go at 4:30.
Well, you got to go at 4:30. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So, we'll take that conversation offline.
All things considered, this was a pretty fun stream. You know, Cavs took care of business very early. It was never in question. It's pretty awesome to have a Cavs team that is this dominant. And thank you to everyone who tuned in. If anyone in here is not already following, please hit that follow button, become a member, stay with us. We do Cavs streams, regular NBA streams. We are Cavs blogs. We mainly talk about the Cavs, but we do other stuff too. So definitely hit that follow button. Thank you everyone for being here. Hope you have a great night and go Cavs. I don't know if we lost Jackson.
I agree. Go Cavs.
There we go. He was holding us in suspense.
Oh, I was gonna say, can you hear me?
Yeah. Oh, can't hear you anymore. All right, y'all. I'm gonna hit end on the stream. I think we lost Jackson, but good night, everyone. Go Cavs. I agree. Go Cavs. There we go. You heard Jackson.